Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Far Off Films podcast, where we're talking about movies, the motion pictures, the pictures, and I don't know how else to stretch out this intro. I'm Jules from the channel, The Morris Man. Who else is here?
I'm God from Tim Jong-un Productions.
Wow.
And I am Bella Baxter from Cloak and
Oh fuck! I should have done a four
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should.
I, Timmy and I
I'm,
got it. Timmy and I got it.
Yeah,
I'm Duncan
we share the
Wedderburn
same
from the
brain
channel
cell,
Divorce
so
Man.
Bella.
Fuck! I'm so happy
Literally.
Mark Ruffalo's in real
That was-
movies again.
Was he not in real movies
Nah,
before?
he was, but then he had a Marvel, only Marvel phase for a while.
Yeah, he had his only Marvel decade, and then he did Dark
yeah.
Waters, and now he's properly back.
We are so bad.
Wait, what decade was that? Were we the 2010s?
2010s.
Like, I'm pretty sure he did some other stuff. He was in
He was in Spotlight.
Spotlight, I think,
Yeah,
right?
That doesn't count.
Yeah,
pretty
he was in
much.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Spotlight.
Wait. No, that's such a lie. I'm pretty sure Mark Ruffalo was in other crap besides that. Hold
I'm
on.
sure he
I'm gonna
was,
look this
but,
up. You guys can
If
keep
it's
talking.
other stuff, then it's not good stuff.
Oh, he was in Now You
Like-
See Me. Let's not forget.
Yeah, exactly. That's not good.
Yeah,
Oh fuck
and
you.
Now You
Now
See Me
is
too,
good.
Electric Boogaloo. So
Now You See Me is not
I haven't seen
good.
that.
It is not
It is.
Good.
It
You
is.
lit-
I haven't
you
seen it,
literally
so I
have
can't.
Okay, well, I'm actually not going to bring up ratings because they don't really matter, but I do not like that now.
Now You See Me 2 is the one that's good.
Oh, Now You See Me too.
Oh, he was in.
That one is better.
He was in,
agree.
Yeah.
He was in
My
Dark
ratings
Waters.
don't mean a thing.
There's that other
They're
one.
just a
so-
number.
Yeah.
It's just a number. It's just a. What are we getting so hung up over the number? It's just a
They're
number,
still-
guys.
both of them are
Exactly.
still,
Age is just a
low-key
number.
kinda trash, though.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Remember when Mark Ruffalo was in a bunch of really great movies like Zodiac and Eternal Sunshine? Like I always tend to
I
forget
don't
about shit
remember
like that.
Because all I remember him is...
Do you know that
He
Mark
was the,
Ruffalo's an EGOT?
Hell. What?
Oh, is he? I did not know that.
That's so funny.
Oh wait, no, he's. Oh wait, no, he's not. Never mind. Sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, he was in Foxcatcher, the
Foxcatcher, the
wrestling movie with
Steve
Channing
Carell.
Tatum and Michael from The Office. Yeah. Yeah, so he's been in some good stuff. So I don't. Oh, and Shutter Island, if you count that. Well, no, that was before Avengers shit. So never mind.
Yeah, that was his
Um,
last real movie.
I mean, you like Spotlight. I honestly
No,
don't
no, no,
remember
no,
enough
no, no,
about
no,
Spotlight too.
Don't say that.
Nah.
Don't say what.
Don't
That
even-
Spotlight isn't a real movie.
Don't even bring up
Don't bring that
Spotlight,
up.
please. Please just...
Don't bring out
please
Spotlight.
Please.
Why?
Just don't. Just don't. Okay? Just please.
Isn't it hilarious that it's from the same director as The Cobbler, the shitty Adam Sandler comedy?
Yep.
I always find that hilarious.
I don't even know what that is.
Nothing. Nothing is
I don't care.
inconceivable.
Yeah, truly there you can go the highest highs and the lowest lows.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like every director has that. Like Francis Ford Coppola has The Godfather, but he also made Jack, So anything is truly possible
Yeah.
if you put your mind into it.
Yeah.
But not my favorite directors. My favorite directors make nothing but W's. La, 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 la.
Yep. My favorite directors have never made anything bad ever.
Speaking of someone who's never made anything bad ever,
No.
bam, Yorgos Lanthimos. Bam.
Oh, we're starting out with that?
I mean,
okay.
we've just
Oh,
been
yeah.
talking about Mark Ruffalo for 5 minutes, so
I guess so. Might as well.
Like, I don't know where
Yeah.
else we would start off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, go on. Let's talk about what did you think about Poor Things?
It was fine.
Yeah, it was whatever.
Yeah, it was
Kinda
fine.
It was like
It was
it's
alright.
kind of Yorgos' masterpiece. You know?
Anyway, on to Rebel
Nothing-
Moon. No, I'm kidding.
Nothing really crazy. You know, kind of just the
Yeah,
best film
yeah.
Yorgos has ever made. You know, like, yeah. You
Yeah,
know.
I thought at first that I was like, this might be my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos film. I was telling Jules about this earlier, but then I was like, but I also said that about The Favorite, and I really, really love The Favorite as well. So I'll probably like need to rewatch The Favorite before I come to that conclusion. Um, but yeah, I went in with like
Does The Favorite have Emma
honestly, I
Stone
didn't really know
riding
what
an
to expect.
anglerfish? No.
No, but
Then then we
there
know
is a
which
scene
one's
with
better.
Emma.
Okay.
There's
Then we know which one's better.
no, but there is a scene where Emma Stone, Rachel Weisz, and Olivia Colman are smearing mud all over their face. That's pretty epic. There's none of that in Poor Things. So
There's like that, but like
Um,
times a million in Poor Things. Emma Stone is doing more dirty things in this movie than The Favorite even
I'm
touched
like
on in the slightest. And
I'm like convinced that like Emma Stone is like a secret British person because like she's done the British
Like
accent
21
so many
Savage.
times that I'm just like yeah, and I'm just like, wow, is she like secretly a British person this whole time and she's just been like faking like her American accent the whole she's so good. Like she does it very, very well. Like I could never have imagined Emma Stone being like when I saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I would be like, well, I guess this is Emma Stone and now she's just like one of the best actresses of our modern day. Like
What a
Jesus
weird
Christ,
career she's had.
how did we get there?
She starts
I
off in like
know,
movies
because
like
she started out with
Superbad and Zombieland, and then she transitions to like
yeah.
The Amazing
Easy
Spider-Man, and then all of a sudden
Easy
she's in
A.
like Birdman and La La Land and all this stuff. And then she goes back to
Yeah.
Wonder
Zombieland
how
for a
that
bit,
happened.
and then now she's in this.
Yeah, that is such a weird career. Like, oh, what a very, very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
honestly, like when I saw Zombieland 2, like I literally couldn't take anything with Emma Stone seriously because like she's so ingrained in all these like high art movies like La La Land and The Favorite and all that shit that like I literally couldn't take her seriously as whatever the hell her name was in Zombieland. Like, could you imagine her doing like something like Superbad now, just like a raunchy like
Honestly, I
R-rated
hope she
comedy or
does.
something? I just couldn't see it
Yeah.
anymore.
She would do it, honestly.
She was in
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she
what's
would.
that movie? Cruella. Remember that?
Oh God.
Oh,
No, she's not.
yeah, I forgot
No,
about that
she's
actually.
not. I don't remember.
Yeah,
She's in
that's
she
another
voices
instance
the
where
Crude
she
in the
pulls
Crudes
off.
too.
Really?
Was she still in that?
Yes, she's in
I know
that.
she was in the first one, but I just assumed that they replaced her with someone else because she became too expensive or prestigious or something. So
No, well they kept Nick Cage, so yeah.
yeah, but Nick Cage is like Nick Cage will work for
What the
anything.
hell?
Have you
He's
guys
like
seen that Woody Allen film that she's in? The really funny one, Irrational Man.
I have not.
I've never
Oh, it's
seen
a
it.
really funny film.
No.
Joaquin Phoenix is in it as well. It's not funny intentionally. It's really,
Mhm.
it's really, really bad.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean
I would
I've only
highly
seen one
encourage
Woody
anyone
Allen
to just
movie
watch
in
the
my
ending
life,
of
so
that film because it's really funny. Just look up
I'll keep
Irrational
that.
Man 2015 elevator scene.
God.
Mm. Oh yeah, I also remember when she played famous Asian character from Aloha, the Cameron Crowe
Okay,
film.
wait, guys.
I didn't actually see the movie.
I found the most wild thing ever. Apparently, there's a
Oh, really?
2024 movie called
Oh.
Paul Nescal. Not mescal. Nescal. And okay, no, this has to be a fake movie. This has to be a fake movie. Apparently, no, yeah, no, this is a fake movie. This is a fake movie. But look at this shit. What the hell? Starring Paul Mescal as Paul Nescal. What the hell? And also starring Emma Stone, apparently.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
That's funny.
This,
I don't know what this is, yeah.
It's a fake movie. Look at that poster. Look at the cast.
Yeah,
it's a fake goddamn movie.
I assume this is a fake movie.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny, though.
What?
I'd make it. I'd make it, though.
River
I'd
Phoenix.
make it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Anyways,
Isn't
Emma
he dead?
Stone
We have the
is
technology
amazing,
to-
and
We have the
this
technology to
is-
bring people back from the dead, yeah.
Anyways,
Yes.
Emma Stone is amazing, and this is probably her best performance, I would say.
By far.
Like, she's great in everything
Yeah.
she's in, but this is like everything else that she's been in, I guess, except for like Cruella or like La La Land, like, she is the front of this film. Like, she takes center stage. Like,
She's the
with
front
La
of
La
La La
Land,
Land.
she kind of shares that with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
But this is her film.
Yeah.
Like, this is hers. This movie is Bella Baxter. This is her character, and I absolutely adored every bloody second of this movie. I was just joking earlier with that little tone of voice. I fucking loved Poor Things. I thought it was honestly perfect. I thought it was honestly so
Yes.
perfect.
I
There's
knew
not
you would.
there is not a single frame or piece of imagery in this film that doesn't look outstanding. And there's not a single performance
Yeah.
or piece of music or anything that like falls out of place. Like maybe small bits of the pace for me near the end, but that's it. And I can easily overlook that as well, like when you think of the grand picture of everything and what it's going for. And yeah, like, it's just amazing. I love this movie so much. And yeah, it's definitely gonna be one that people are gonna be mixed on, but also it's gotten a very positive public reception as well. So maybe the world is just reforming and we are just becoming a better place.
I mean, a
But
lot of people
yeah.
seem to like it.
But also there is a lot of
it won the
backlash
Golden
about,
Globes.
the excessive sex and, type of shit. But,
Oh my god.
that's a story for another day. But yeah, like, everything in this film just feels so purposeful and intentional. It is one of those films that just has, like, I mean, I not really the best comparison, but it's like a film kind of like Safe, where it's just universal in like the just countless themes it is able to evoke through one character. Like anyone can step into Bella Baxter's shoes and feel a different emotion that this film expresses, because I don't feel like it left any stone unturned. It like showcases such a wide variety of emotions, because you essentially watch this character live out their whole life pretty much, like, and even then you still only see small segments of it. But like, yeah, Bella Baxter is like this Frankenstein creation that is going through life at a remarkable pace, and you kind of see her grow and change through like what feels like the span of like simply like a few weeks or maybe months or something, and yeah, it is an impeccable film about growth and uh, second chances and human experience and sexual liberation and feminism. In a way, this is kind of just like Barbie, but for freaky, mentally ill people. You know, like there's a lot of
Yeah,
similar
that's a good way to
comparisons that can
describe
be
it.
drawn. Similar similar themes with this idea of men wanting control and like systematic ways and societal norms everywhere they go and around them, but never is it expressed in like a in your face, shoving it down your throat kind of way. It's very subtle, and it's not, you know, it's not like an anti-men movie either. Like, Bella Baxter is very sympathetic for her own father, even though she understands like the flaws. There's like God, that ending, like when she just goes back to like see God, his Willem Dafoe's character. His name's Godwin, but it's kind of funny that his name's God because he is essentially this creator, and he treats himself like
Yeah.
this god over Bella Baxter. Like he knows what's best. He like is the parent and stuff, and yeah, but like when she goes back to visit him, like there's such a profound moment where they like are interacting, and she's like, what you did was kind of really fucked up, but in a weird way, I couldn't have had this new life that you've given me and had all these experiences without you, you know? And it's like so powerful, and God, I love this movie. I just truly love this movie so much. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I really loved it. I really did love it. I've seen it twice now, and both times it's just been amazing. I think I need to rewatch The Favorite, but yeah, because that's currently my favorite Yorgos. But this is just one of his best works, his best pictures. Yeah, as you kind of pointed out, it's like it is such a impactful movie with her performance, Emma Stone, kind of driving the whole kind of thing. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so, I guess, unique, and just so funny as well. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely loved Mark Ruffalo. Probably my favorite performance from him since Zodiac. Loved all the other performances. I think this might actually be my favorite Willem Dafoe performance in a long time as well. No, I don't think
He
enough
was
people are giving
so
him
Really?
credit for how good he is. Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's
every
awesome.
every actor was
I mean,
great.
he
Even like
plays.
Jared Carmichael was in it briefly. I thought he was really good. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rami Youssef. Yeah, I
Rami
thought it was really
Youssef.
good as well.
yeah, just
Yeah.
everyone was great.
That
Yeah, I really
Spoiler
like
alert,
I really
but
like
the,
its whole kind
the
of.
Chris, the
Okay,
Oh
well,
yeah, he was great.
the
He was
Christopher
awesome.
Abbott like cameo that was also great. Spoiler alert. Yeah, because I didn't see that come. I didn't even know Christopher Abbott was in the film, so like I was like taken aback because I thought the movie was gonna end at a certain point, but then like
Yeah,
when
same.
Christopher Abbott showed up, I was like, whoa, who are you? Yeah. So
Yeah.
That was great.
yeah.
Yeah, I loved its
Mhm.
whole kind of like growing up. It's essentially a coming of age film.
Yeah.
It's kind of odyssey across, I guess, Europe, but also just
Yeah,
kind of an odyssey
that's a
across
great
like
word for
an
this.
odyssey across like the society as a whole. That's something I really appreciated about the whole production design, which was also like really incredible. Where it's like for us as an audience who are on this odyssey with her, it's kind of like there are familiar things like the places and like some of the stuff like food and like things that they talk about and whatnot. Like it all kind of seems like our world, but there are several like confusing things like the monorail car things over Lisbon and just like the weird shape of the ship and stuff and just this whole kind of aesthetic that it has. Like, so it feels familiar, but we're learning just as much alongside her. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, almost felt kind of like
amazing.
Bioshock Infinity type. Yeah, the aesthetic of the film kind of reminded me of that. What I particularly really loved, though, and none of you have mentioned it yet, I think this is like probably one of the most visually engaging films of 2023. Because what
Yeah.
I truly appreciated was the cinematography of the film.
It
I
is the
really
best
like
looking
how
film
the film is
of
shot.
2023, in my opinion.
I really love how the film is shot because
Amazing
it does
color
such a
palette.
great job of like structuring the film as well, because like the first act of the film is in black and
Yeah.
white, but it's so like detailed and so like crisp in terms of like capturing every single aspect, from like the tables to like the food that they eat to, you know, just as simple as like Emma Stone shoving a cucumber upper vajayjay. But then what I love is in the second act, the film gets way more wacky and whimsical in terms of its like set piece and production design, not in terms of its tone. The tone was always wacky and absurd, but like what I love is the second act is like they start throwing color into the film,
Yes.
and at first I thought it was like a gimmick at first, but then like the more I sat on it and the more I thought about what I was watching, the more it entirely made sense, because it's like you said, like it like Emma Stone's character Bella Baxton is literally a baby. She's like a grown up baby. She has a baby brain in an an adult's body, and so because of that, like she's like it's it's such a great contrast, because like what Willem Dafoe said in the beginning of the film, like he's trying to create a controlled environment for Bella to exist and thrive in, and so and for most of her life she's only known the stuff inside the house, but once she's out in the real world, quote unquote, and she's traveling to all these different countries and learning about like things like you know, alcohol or food or poverty and all this other stuff.
Sex.
Her worldview is
Yeah.
kind of is sex, yeah.
Big
Like
part of the
her
movie.
worldview is like very much morphed. Yeah, her worldview is very morphed in like the you know, like there's a lot of like abstract like surrealism in terms of like you said, the like rail carts like being attached on the ceiling, like the very like colorful like sky and background. It was almost kind of like Wes Anderson-y in terms of like how he structures
You
his
see,
like
I
set
was
pieces and
thinking
stuff like
that.
that. And then like
But when I did more thinking, I was actually like, this actually feels more Terry Gilliam-y, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys
I
have
guess
seen
that's a
like
better way to
Brazil
describe
it. Yeah,
or 12 Monkeys,
Like Brazil.
but it kind of feels like
Yeah.
that.
I haven't,
Or
but
Fear
I'm
and Loathing in Las
familiar.
Vegas.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
yeah, or like even like Barbie, it kind of reminded me of like the look of Barbie as well,
The
when
bright colors.
especially like the moments when they're like travel. Well, I'm more referencing like the scenes where Barbie and Ken are like traveling through different like dimensions or whatever to get to the real world. Like
Mhm.
that kind of reminded me of that as well. But anyway, what I was saying was like I really love sort of like the striking like abstract surrealism of like the second act, but then when the third act happens and she returns home to London, it kind of goes back to the way that the film was originally shot, except you know, it's in color now. But what was particularly striking to me was when she was forced to stay in Christopher Abbott's mansion. The like the detail and like the look, the way it was shot, it almost kind of reminded me of how like The Favorite was shot, like especially moments when she's like walking through the hallway of the mansion. Like it reminded me a lot of like how The Favorite was shot, and it's really such a striking like visual. It's not only just visually striking, but it also like fits within the context of like the overall film, because like such detail like that and contrasting it with the bright colors of the second act is like very, it does a great job of like establishing um just how much he's like gained in terms of both
Yes,
emotional and like
exactly.
actual intellectual maturity, because like you said, like in the beginning she's just like a baby, but then by the end she's like
Well,
honestly just as smart as Willem Dafoe's character. She can just like she can communicate like words like with like a lot of articulation and stuff like that. And eventually she's able to like do the Frankenstein procedure as well. And it's a visual, like the visuals help the film so much. Like it is a core aspect of the movie, and
Yeah.
I'm usually not the biggest fan of fisheye lens. Like I don't really care for it. I think it can get really
Nah, they're
gimmicky at
sick.
times, but this is a film where it's like
They're good.
it really enhances what's happening in the film. I really
There's
did like the fisheye lens
15 different
use in the film.
lenses that I could see with my eyes watching this movie. Like, and there's probably more that I don't even know about. Like, it was crazy.
For
Like,
sure.
it's constantly switching styles
Yeah.
and like switching perspective and like I mean yeah, that can just be seen like how Bella Baxter is constantly seeing the world differently in all these different ways as she matures so rapidly. What I particularly loved about the colors is that maybe my maybe my cinema was a bit bugged. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but when she goes outside for the first time in the first act, it's still black and white, but there's just this slight tint of like green and yellow like fading in. Like it's very minuscule. And again, maybe that was just my cinema projector being weird. I don't. It could very much not be there. But
I'm not sure,
if that
honestly.
if it is a thing that
I
is
honestly don't
real,
know.
that is such a cool little detail. And then obviously, yeah, like Timmy was saying, when she finally goes outside into the real world, it's like such a spark of color and vibrancy in her life, you know? Like, it's not this monotonous stay inside the whole time kind of thing. Like, she's learning, she's exploring. And originally, when I thought that when she was going back to London, I thought that they would switch back to black and white. But I actually really liked that they didn't, because like Timmy was saying again, it proves that she kept all these experiences with her, and she is able to go back home with this new sense of color and appreciation for her life, you know? And then you kind of get like new perspectives of familiar things. I guess like in a weird way, it's like going back to a childhood home or a parent's house that you haven't, or a family member's house that you haven't been into for a while. You like see like a new perspective of things, because now we are finally seeing this new, or this house that we are used to seeing in black and white. We're now seeing it in color and with vibrancy. What was once a place of like a kind of like a prison or like a trap, a cage, is now like this like fond, precious, warm, colorful memory, you know? And yeah, like the visuals of this film are beyond phenomenal. Like beyond, like yeah, like I said, this is the definitive best looking film of 2023. Like I can't imagine anything else that I haven't seen yet topping.
About Shrek grasses.
Oh yeah, you think so?
How do you live? Like
think so,
lots of lots of vision.
I would say this is maybe the best looking fantastical film of 2023 then.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like I don't think there's going to be a fantasy world like this, to this scale and to this scope, expressed so well in a long time. We're not going to see such a fully fleshed out world like this in a very, very long time, and that's so special.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
going on to the color palette thing. Something I also appreciated was the way it used like individual movie styles in its color. Like it's kind of like it's got like such a black and white like gothic horror at first in the London sections. I was hoping honestly I was kind of hoping it would go back to black and white when she went back to London, just to imply that London is like a massive shithole.
That's what I thought they were
anyway.
gonna do.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
I would have been funny. It would have
But
been
I
really
like
funny
that
if they
they
had done
didn't.
that.
I
yeah.
really like that they didn't.
And then afterwards it kind of becomes like some sort of like a Technicolor sort of thing. And then by the time she gets back to London, and then especially when she goes to the colonel previous husband's house, it kind of becomes shot in a more like modern style. And also another thing that I
I
was
was gonna
thinking,
say, yeah.
and also another thing I was thinking with the I don't know, I might be completely wrong hypothesis on this, but whenever they used the fisheye lens, it was when she was singularly focused on something, like when the fisheye lens of like the band playing in the dance scene, like she heard the sound, or when the fisheye lens of her hugging Willem Dafoe, when she sees Willem Dafoe and just has to run to him immediately. Like it's almost like the fisheye lens is her like contained world of view where she's only focused on this one singular thing, and then the rest of the time she's obviously
That's how
looking at the rest of the world around her. I don't know. Is it?
that's how I interpreted.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, finish. Yeah, that's how I interpreted a lot of the fisheye lens in the film. I mean, there were like two kinds. There was one where it's like, it was a wide shot where like it was like a more traditional looking fisheye lens. But the one that I think you're talking about are the ones where with like the circular filter where it's like
Yeah.
hyper focused on like one specific thing and the rest is like covered in black. I was like kind of taken aback by that at first. I was like, wow, this is more just like because I was like, wow, this is a cool little visual that like I don't think I've seen in a lot of other movies. But the more they use it in the film, the more it made sense. Yeah, like you said, because like it's when Bella's like hyper focused. The one that I specifically remember, that I particularly loved is that scene where Mark Ruffalo's character is beating the shit out of someone because he was like eyeing Bella Baxton, and like the fight. And the way that it's shot, like it's all very obviously trying to sell on its like comedic nature, and it does a really great job, like showcasing like wow this guy's like a I mean if we hadn't seen it before like this like brings it to home. This guy's like a it's like
A
a beta male,
buffoon.
you know. He's like a loser, yeah, a buffoon, yeah, a total troglodyte who who is very insecure, who's very threatened by um Emma Stone's growing self-awareness and intelligence and blah 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 all this other stuff. I really loved that scene where Mark Ruffalo's character went, "You will only say three phrases." Uh, fuck, what were they? Something, and then
Yes, how
delightful, and
marvelous,
then
and how do they
the
make the
pastries, and how
pastries so
marvelous.
crispy here?
The pastry's so crispy, yeah. And then like when she uses those phrases, like when the woman that they're talking to is like I think dealing with like a divorce or something like that. I don't remember. It was like some like tragedy,
Her father was not
and she was
expected to
like,
make it to the end of the year.
"Yeah, that's right." And she was like, "Delightful. How do they make the pastry so crisp?" I thought that was really good. That was very amusing to me.
Yeah, yeah. And also leading on to that scene,
Hmm.
do we want to talk about the dance scene?
Utterly phenomenal.
I mean, how could we not?
Utterly phenomenal.
It's so
And
good.
such a great. I think it's such a beyond it being such a great kind of like little musical number. I think it's such a great summation
God.
of the
Sorry.
what?
No, you go. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Did you just have a
Yeah.
profound revelation?
Yes.
It seemed like it, yeah. But
Yeah, but
let's
anyway,
let Jules finish his thought first.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, the dance scene. It's such a great
The
summation
dance
of
scene,
the
yeah.
Bella and Duncan's kind of character dynamic and how their kind of relationship is, where she's the one where at the start they're dancing together when she starts dancing, but then she starts trying to dance on her own, and then he keeps like pulling her back to like dance with him together.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's such a great little scene.
Yeah,
It's probably my favorite scene in the film, to
It
be
is.
honest.
I think that's what
So
I love about this film so
ridiculous.
much. It's like it is such a it's like Lucas said, it is an incredibly hyper feminist film, but it's not in a way that's like shoving it down your throat or just like being so explicit with it. Like it's like you
It's
said,
a
what
feminist
I
film
love
with
about
like
the
a
film is that
different
this is a
genre
movie
framework.
with a different genre framework, but also like the way it communicates its themes is also very important to me because in scenes like that you don't need dialogue to like explain what's happening because like what I love about the film is that in each act there are like different kinds of men trying to manipulate and trying to control um but Bella's life. And like Mark Ruffalo is like the biggest example of this, because like he likes the idea of Bella. He likes the idea, like his ideal like wife is just like this, like what their relationship was in the beginning, constant fucking, or her just like, you know, appraising everything that he says, and just, you know, like it's weird, like it's almost kind of like a reverse manic pixie dream girl type situation, where it's like she kind of starts out that way, but then she like grows into her own character, and she grows into her own person with her own personality and wants and intellects, blah blah blah, whatever. And he feels threatened by that. He is like, he gets so annoyed with like all the other things that she starts doing, like when she gives away his like his
His
gambling
money.
money to the poor, because
Oh, not really.
you know, and he's like, oh yeah, not really, yeah, because like the obviously the sailors like, you know, stole that shit, but like the implied, like the implied what happened, it's like in her mind she was like she gave money to the poor, and then like obviously in that other scene, oh my god, this was so funny when Emma Stone's character like starts selling her body for money, and Mark Ruffalo's like, you hoard yourself, like disgusting, you know, all this other shit, like you cannot do that. But then like literally like half an hour later, like when he's still like in Paris, like struggling with to make ends meet, like he can't give money, he's like, Bella, I love you so much. And then when she rejects him, saying, our time is over, like I find you no longer attractive, and and then he immediately goes like, you whore, I hate you, and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh my god, that is so, yeah, it's like we were saying before, he's a buffoon, he's a beta male, he's a troglodyte, and like that scene just like really sells it. I fucking and but it's like Luca also said, like um but it's not like an anti-men movie or anything, because like she's very sexually she's sexually liberating, you know, like you know, she's comfortable with her own body, but you know, she also wants to be, I guess like it's what she finds Rami Youssef's character so I guess attractive, if that makes sense, because like it's like she said, like in the film, her ideal partner is like someone who's open minded to all of her decisions and her choices, and allows her to be who she is, and like Max accepts her for who she is, and it's why she wants to get married to him. And I thought that was like a good way to bring everything together. And then um but you know, it still drives home the fact that like, you know, there are terrible men out there who's trying to manipulate Bella's life, and the Colonel is the best example of that, where I mean, he is literally the reason why
She
the
committed
original
suicide.
Bella, if we want to call it that, yeah, jumped off a bridge, you know, like he's the reason why she did it. And she even's like um she tries to leave like just like as politely as possible, just like I believe our time is over and I would like to leave now. And the Colonel just pulls out a gun and be like, well, if you leave, I'll shoot you. What are you gonna do about that? And I was like, whoa, like dude, really? Like and but luckily, like, you know, she managed to get away, and his fate at the end was so satisfying, like when they do the
Yeah, what are
Frankenstein
your guys'
procedure
thoughts on that
to
Yeah.
have
whole
his body
thing
swap with a
that
duck.
they did to him?
That was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it was really it was fitting. It was a natural
What
conclusion
I really
to
love about that scene
his
is
character.
that I think it kind of has like, well, that whole ending scene fucking sent me into space. Like, the music alone is just one of the most phenomenal things I've ever heard in my life. I've been listening to it before the film came out, and I am still
Soundtrack's
listening
great,
to
yeah.
it now. Okay, so the soundtrack is phenomenal, but that I really like that they kind of Frankenstein the general. I think it's kind of a fun little way at like poking fun towards, not poking fun, but like highlighting the flaws of like animal cruelty and like testing animals and stuff for like science experiments, because obviously all the other animals that are running around like Godwin's house are all like these fucked up, like stitched together creatures, you know?
Chicken
Yeah.
dog and
Yeah,
duck
chicken
dog.
dog and like
Cricket.
fucking goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all this weird shit.
Goose.
And I
Yeah.
think it's funny that, Bella decided, why hurt an innocent creature when we can just do our science experiments on a not innocent, totally fucked up, shitty person. Why go out and hurt animals when we can hurt the people that have when we can go out and hurt the people that have hurt other people? Like hurt someone who
Yeah.
has actually inflicted pain and done fucked up things, rather than an animal that you know what I'm trying. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think that was a
Yeah.
fun little.
Yeah, no, like, he deserved
Yeah,
it.
like it was
Yeah.
kind of deserved. It was like
He deserved
yeah.
his.
And yeah, like that's what I
It
love
almost
about
kind
the
of
film.
reminded me
like,
of the.
there are themes for like literally so much. Like each new scene can mean entirely new things. Like, as much as this is like a feminist movie, like that is like one small part of the ginormous pie that is this film. There is sexual liberating themes in there, and like themes exploring sexuality, themes exploring control and manipulation. There's some like kind of autistic like representation that can be seen in this film. There is some trans, there's some gay stuff
really?
in there. There's all sorts of things. There's like this feels like the perfect blend of like everything Yorgos has set out to express in his other films, and it feels like he took all of that, all of every single thing that he says in his last films, and then adds like a whole extra bucket of more things, mixed it up, and made this delicious, ever expanding and interpretable film. And I love it so much. Like, there is so much there. Like, definitely the main ones are obviously like like sexual liberation and for women, and discovering yourself, life second chances, finding your own comfortability in your own body. But like, yeah, there are so many things that can be drawn from everything. I feel like maybe I self-insert myself too much into films, but honestly, sometimes maybe that's what films are for. I connected with this movie so hard, often in times I feel like I've gotten a second chance. I'm a brain in a body where I necessarily don't feel like right to be in, but it's what I got, and I gotta appreciate it. And that's like kind of a similar thing that Emma Stone mentions near the end of the film, where like she kind of has this confrontation with Willem Dafoe. She's like, I think what you did was screwed up. Like, you kind of Frankenstein me together in this weird way, but also I gotta appreciate it in a weird way as well. Like, I found so much joy with the second chance that I've got. So like, yeah, it's just so powerful. There is so much in everything. Like how could it not be a perfect film? Like, how could you just not think this is just utterly everything? Because it is. There's so much. I love it. I love it so much.
I had like minor nitpicky things with the film, but yeah, like that
So
doesn't really
easily
matter in
overlooked,
the
I
end, because
think,
like you
for
said,
me.
it is a perfect film. Like, because I was like thinking, like, what exactly did I find flawed or not good about the movie? But I really just couldn't. It was just like, it's a perfectly paced film. I was like never bored throughout I was a bit confused going in. I was like, where are they going with this? A bit, but that's like a feeling I have with every type of movie like this. It's just like, I'm not sure where things are going, but I want to see where things go. And yeah, I wasn't bored at all. I was very entertained from beginning to end.
You were talking about the score earlier, Luca, and I don't know if you had this as well, but I think I really love the way it kind of complemented her growth throughout the film, where at the start it's basically just like it's single notes, and then it slowly gets better, or sorry, bigger, and as the film goes on, as she progresses and grows and becomes a more mature kind of person, and then at the end
definitely.
it just explodes in this like orchestra basically of just like
Yeah.
just tunes.
I
and
noticed
notes
that as
and,
well. That was
yeah,
so.
it's such a great.
I
end
was
to the film.
crying.
That was so
I was crying at the
satisfying.
end.
Yeah, that was really
I sat through
satisfying.
those whole credits with tears in my eyes. My
Aw.
friends were like, Luca, are we gonna go? And I was like, please, I'm watching these fucking credits. I'm watching these beautiful images on screen, okay? Yeah, I sat through the whole credits looking at every single one of those frames. And those frames at the end are beautiful. There's so much like provocative imagery in all of those frames. There's like images of buildings and they look like dicks and like vaginas and stuff, and it's like it's so much to say like how sex is kind of everywhere and everyone does it. Like, why is it such a big deal that everyone like gets
Except
mad
me.
at it, you know,
Fighting.
and finds it like disgusting and revolting, you know, like and yeah, like that's also a big part of the film, is that kind of stuff. But like you can look into any scene and like everything is such a big part. I like that you guys mentioned the ending as well, because there's that like other character, that other like girl that Max and Godwin,
The
I
French
guess, made
socialist
or created
girl.
or something. And even at the
Oh, yeah,
ending,
yeah.
like
Margaret
when
Qualley.
the,
the other one,
like
yeah, yeah.
housekeeper throws the ball at her and she catches it. It's like such a testament to like how everyone can grow, everyone can change. Even like this person who feels like they barely have a mind or brain at all to function, even they found a way to grow and overcome. And it's like it's so powerful. Like when she caught that ball, I was like, oh my god, like, and then the music hits in like as she's dropping it, and it's like, god damn, like, yeah. Like, the more I talk about this movie, the more I think the more it climbs, like, up my 2022
It's
ranking.
better than Asteroid City. Be real.
Like, it might, I think after
Yeah,
a
it is
rewatch,
better
it might
than
be my
Asteroid
favorite
City.
film of the year. Like, I mean, I still think I got,
And put
like, kind of more
and
personal...
put May December above Asteroid City as well.
I'll have to rewatch all three of them back to back to see which one I truly like. Truly love the most, sorry. But yeah, like, just in terms of everything this film is going for, it is fantastic. Utterly phenomenal. 11 out of 10.
Nice.
Top
nice.
2 of the
Yeah.
year, maybe number 1.
Yeah, one of my definite favorites of the year. Probably a 9. Could easily be a 10. Amazing film.
Come on, gotta bump that up.
You bump up May December
Hi.
over Asteroid City, and I'll consider it.
It's I thought I had more to say, but you guys really do you guys did a great job of explaining all the other parts that I was going to mention. Yeah, there's just like cuz I feel like I could talk about this movie
Same.
for a long while. You know, it's just an incredible I feel like I would need to watch the movie again though to like really just kind of like it's weird like because I remember back in the day Yorgos was like being compared to a lot with like Stanley Kubrick, and I after seeing this I can like totally see it now because like there were a lot of like visuals and the way films are shot are just like very like remind me of Kubrick. No, he's not. But
I mean, Killing of
but yeah,
Killing of a
it
Sacred
almost
Deer,
like
you can kind of compare to The Shining in a way.
I haven't seen Killing of a Sacred Deer, so I
Yeah.
can't really speak to that. But I got a lot of similarities with this and some of other Kubrick's films. Yeah, it's just yeah, it almost felt like seeing a closest thing to a modern Kubrick. I'll just say that it was just it was immaculate, like you said. It was production's design is really stellar. The visuals are really stellar. The cinematography stellar. The acting stellar. I was like, I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of like taken aback a bit by Mark Ruffalo's accent because I didn't
I loved
actually
it.
understand what he was going for. I was like, are you American or British? I couldn't
just a
really
guy.
get it at first.
He's just he's just a guy.
he's just a dude.
He's just a guy. Okay. Yeah. Well, it could have been, like at least like with Gerard Carmichael's character, they didn't give him a British accent. He was just like, yeah, just do American, So I appreciated that, but I don't know, whatever.
Personally, I was hoping
Anyway,
there
what
would
was I
be some
saying? Oh,
sinking
right, yeah.
scenes of the ship. Yeah, it's just me.
Oh, like Titanic.
Of course, Jules,
So,
Jules was hoping.
yeah,
Yeah,
music is
I know. The Mark
is
Ruffalo.
music is stellar.
The Mark Ruffalo character did remind me of Billy Zane energy in Titanic.
He does. He
tries
kind of
to
did
throw
remind me of
old
that as
lady
well.
off the
But
ship. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny.
yeah, he did remind me of that, and like Bella did kind of remind me of Rose from Titanic as well in some parts. If you think about it, like I liked it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I think everything about this film is like is near perfect. Now, is it How Do You Live level near perfect?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I still think this is like one of the best movies of 2023. So yeah, 9 out of 10. It could be a 10 in a rewatch. I don't know, who knows, but yeah, it's a 9.
Yeah, it's
So,
great
yeah,
film.
I didn't mean to
We might be
stretch out
getting
my conclusion.
another Yorgos
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Is he already working on a new one?
This guy's new film
Yeah.
is already shot.
Really?
I
What
don't
is
know
it
how
called?
you top
It's
this
called-
though.
It's called Kind of Kindness.
You know how when you have that feeling, like when you've watched a movie and you're like, okay, this is their best movie. It's like Bong Joon-ho's
With Andrei
Parasite.
Tarkovsky.
It's like, man cooked so hard. Like I don't know if he can cook even harder. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's how I am with whenever I watch like an Andrei Tarkovsky film, and then like I watch the next one, I'm like, oh yeah, masterpiece, obviously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever had this experience with any other director, because like I thought The Favorite was amazing, and like I liked The Lobster, but I didn't like love it as much as everyone else did, and then The Favorite kind of blew me out of the water, and then this just blew me out of the water harder. I don't think I've ever had this experience with any other director.
I mean, yeah,
The
he's
cooked so hard, the cooked so hard thing that you don't know if they can ever beat that happened with Peter Jackson for me.
It went the opposite. Went the opposite of.
Well, yeah, it's like
of
he
Yorgos
cooked so hard, it's
Lanthimos.
like you can never beat that.
Like Peter Jackson can
Yeah,
never
I
beat
guess so.
Lord of the Rings. Like that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
And
No,
and
never.
as
It's
sad
just
as it
not.
is to
It's-
say,
especially for me.
Yorgos, I don't think could make a better film than this. Like this is like the one. He's been working on this.
I know,
ever
It's
Yorgos
all
since-
got a
going
lot more
downhill
films
from
in him.
here.
Like he's got a lot more bangers in him, like definitely. But like this is the one. Like Emma Stone and Yorgos have been working on this since like The Favorite, like nonstop. Like this is what they've been doing. Emma Stone has
Well,
been a
Yorgos
producer.
wanted to do it after Dogtooth.
Really? That's so ambitious.
Yeah.
Like that's how far back this has gone.
That's
like,
epic. Yeah.
Well, he had it in his mind even before then, and
That's amazing.
he said I was reading something with him where he said the author who wrote the book, who passed away like quite a few years before the film came out in like 2000 and something in the 2010s. He said he met with him and said like I had someone put the DVD for Dogtooth on there, and it was on my TV, and it was quite an interesting film. So you are a very talented young man, and I'd like you to do more things.
Oh my god, that's so sweet.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that somewhere. That's really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
I do like the idea of him watching
Oh.
Dogtooth and being like,
is
maybe this
fun.
guy's got 4 things in him.
Yeah.
This might be the man.
I mean, he clearly did. He clearly did.
Yeah, I mean, he was
Yeah.
right.
It all worked out in the end. So yeah. So
Alrighty.
speaking of things that
Speaking
don't
of
work
things
out
that are
in the
poor.
end, Rebel Dune.
Rebel
Sorry, I
Moon.
meant Star Rebel. Sorry, I meant Rebel
7
Moon. That's what I
rebels.
meant. So the 7 rebels, the 7 rebel rye. That's what I meant. Yeah. So, and I don't know how to start this.
Do you want
It's
me
the
to start
new
it? Because I
Zack
saw it in...
Snyder.
I mean, you've
Yeah,
already
sure,
gone
yeah,
off
you saw it
about
more recent than, like,
this is like a continuation from
Yeah, but,
last
like,
time. This is like a
This is
part
like part
two.
2.
Yeah.
This is we already did our part 2 of Rebel Moon before Zack Snyder did, so like beat that, Zack. So yeah, you can start us off, Jules. I don't really give a shit.
Okay, yeah, I watched the new Zack Snyder picture, Rebel Moon, recently. Came out on Netflix. Watched it with the family. It was a great old time. Yeah, it was a probably one of his, as much as I find him endearing, probably one of his worst films he's ever made, to be honest. Like, was not as fun as like the Snyder Cut or Justice League or 300 or Dawn of the Dead or Watchmen or anything. Like,
This is somehow more incompetent than Army of the Dead, the previous movie he did with the zombies or whatever.
was
Like,
more
this is
fun.
somehow more incompetent than
Zombies
that.
getting
Yeah,
their heads blown
like,
off, big explosions. But there was hardly any explosions.
yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I was like, when I heard about this film, I was like, okay. I mean, I knew it was wishful thinking, but I was like, okay, he's like doing Seven Samurai in space. Like, can he be kind of restrained in a way, like in the way sort of Michael Bay has done somewhat in some of his recent films.
Somewhat.
I'm referring to like the what's that Michael Bay film, the
Ambulance?
Benghazi.
Oh, the
Yeah,
13
Secret
Hours.
Soldiers of
Yeah.
Benghazi. That was a pretty
Yeah.
that was a somewhat restrained film for him. Or it's like
if you say so.
they can, like, even if it's still like a big action thing, like there doesn't have to be like skyscrapers falling down or anything. So yeah, I was hoping for something a bit more restrained, but still kind of him and fun. Yeah, like, I don't know why honestly, genuinely, I do not know why he felt the need to split this into 2 parts. Like, I reckon if he'd done it 4 hours,
I have
or
no
even
idea
3.5
either.
hours, it could have been a pretty tight little film. Lots of action, but yeah, he spent a really weird amount of time, like, just kind of. It was kind of like a video game almost. It was like moved from like one scene to the next, like blah blah blah.
Yeah, there's not even enough.
Tamer Man has been added to your party.
It's like an RPG.
Yeah, basically,
exactly.
it was structured like an RPG game.
Like, you mentioned that, like, why did he split this apart into half a movie? I don't even know why this is, like, even if he did combine both into one movie, that's still not enough for a story. Like, there's not even half a story in this one. It's like 1/16 of us. But, like, okay, taking at face value, because keep in mind, this is all the setup. Like, the second movie is just going to be nothing but payoff. Like, this is it. This is as much character development we're going to get. And there was barely any of it. Like, it's not even a half a story. It's like 1/16 of a story. This is, like, basically first act shit in, like, every other movie. But it takes fucking forever to do literally, like, the bare minimum. And even the bare minimum is not even, like, fulfilled half the time. Like, by the end of the movie, I forgot like half the characters in this film. Like, I don't even remember any of their names, if I'm being honest. Like,
yeah, I don't remember a single one.
It's also because I haven't seen the movie in weeks.
I remember
it's so
Darien Blood Axe, because it was so dumb.
Who?
That was
actually
the Ray Fisher character that died for like no reason at the end.
Ray Fisher was in the movie? I gotta look this up.
He was the He was Darien
Was he the
Blood
rebel
Axe,
leader?
dude. Sister of Devra Bloodaxe, the most feared warriors in the Imperium, with their militia that are challenging the Motherworld.
Oh, that was Rebel.
Is this making any sense to you, Luca? Do you feel hyped?
I, like, genuinely have no clue what's going on, but I do have a funny thought. What if the second movie came out? Okay. and it was like a
And it's really
complete
good.
masterpiece. Yeah, what if it was so good, and it completely
I'd welcome it.
recontextualizes this first one, and it like that would just be very funny to me. Um, but
I'd welcome
That
it.
would be kind of funny.
I would find that so funny. I would love that.
I do have a kind of
But
weird relationship with
I
Zach
doubt
and his
it, yeah.
films. I do like the man. But yeah.
I also I don't hate
Sure,
him.
yeah.
He's funny.
Oh, I don't hate him at all. I think he's he seems like a cool guy, honestly.
I mean, as a person,
I
yeah,
would
he's a
love
nice guy. Like,
I
he
would
seems
just
like a cool
accept
guy.
being in one
Yeah.
of his films instantly if I was given it. Like, I would be in this film.
He
Like,
kind of just is kind of just like a kid that just never grew up, you know. He just wants to make
Yeah,
movies
he's kinda
with
just
his
doing his own
friends.
thing.
Yeah. Like, and
Yeah, he
even
just
though
wants
it
to make
makes
his
no
silly little-
sense,
his
and
silly
even
little
though they're
epic
kind of
films.
crummy, like you know what, whatever,
They're his.
Zachy. Yeah.
Yeah, as big of a sourpuss and a fun ruiner I am, because I don't really like Zack Snyder's movies at all. So, like, the guy himself is like he seems like a cool guy.
I don't know.
He
Timmy,
seems
you
like
said
a
some
he seems like
fucked up shit
like
about Zack
a good
Snyder on this
person.
podcast.
Yeah.
Have
I'm pretty sure you've called him a hack.
Probably,
I'm
but,
pretty sure
you know.
you've called him a dumbass.
Well, the first one I definitely did. I don't remember the second one, but you know, don't I call everyone a dumbass at some point?
Maybe.
That's just part of my character. Yeah. But
Your
like,
catchphrase.
but yeah, that still doesn't excuse how much I hated the movie though. Like
Yeah,
it just
disappointing
it's like
for
you said,
him,
Jules.
honestly.
It just goes from one scene to the next without a care in the world, and I'm just like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to care about the characters then? Like, how am I supposed to care about anything that's happening? Like the scene where one of the most jarring scenes is just like the later recruitments where they go recruit that guy with the eagle bear thing, the griffin or whatever, the
Yeah.
griffin from Harry Potter, the guy that was training the griffin from Harry Potter. I was like, what is the point of any of this? Like, does this matter in the end? Like, is this gonna come back in the end of the film? Like, it doesn't, because they just like they write a griffin from Harry Potter and they were just like, well, we're done with that main mission, let's move on to the next one. And then we move on to Beduna's character, where she pulls out her not lightsabers and slashes not Shelob into like pieces to save
so
like a
funny.
small child, and then we're done with her mission. Now we're moving on to the next one with Jamon Hansu and how he's like a disgraced general, but he, after like one inspiring speech from Sophia Boutella's character, now he's cool. Now he wants to fight. Now he's good. Like, is there? I just wanted something to matter. Like, I just wanted something to just mean something at the end, and it didn't. It was just all like, well, moving on to the next one. And it's like, and if they're gonna do that, then the least they could do is make the action scenes fun and exciting. Like, because like that's like the one thing I can credit Zach for doing very, very well as a director. But the fight scenes in this movie were so lame. Like, I get that this is supposed to be like a PG-13 baby version of like the actual real version
that
of the
was so
movie that's coming
disappointing.
out soon. But yeah, like it kept cutting away from like what like
Yeah.
it keeps cutting away
what the
every
fuck?
time an
Just
impact is made on a
Commit or
character.
don't, bro.
Like it's ruined by all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
like,
was,
commit or
that was
don't,
easily
like
the
you said-
worst
yeah,
part that
it's like-
frustrated me so
it's-
much.
It keeps, and it's ruined by all these shitty cuts that like it keeps cutting like every single like 2 to 3 seconds. It was so annoying. I was just like, can I just see a real action scene, please? Like, can I see some like actual consequence happening? Is this just not gonna happen?
It might be the
like, I get
least
this
amount of
version is
action
for
in any one
babies.
of his films, honestly.
What?
It was.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah, I guess that's
That's
true.
a
how many
wild
action
thought.
And now
scenes
that I
are
think
there?
about it, yeah, you're right. Yeah, like
They have a few small
it's
little
just-
fist
it's
fights, but
just-
like there's not really any big action scenes until the kind of final half of the movie.
Wow.
yeah, I guess that's true, but I don't know. Well, it depends on what you consider a fight scene, because like Beduna's character has her own little fight scene. They have that bar fight with slimy scumbag Han Solo. The what's his face?
Oh yeah, Kai.
the
Charlie
main
Hunnam.
guy from Pacific Rim. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, he was. That was weird. That also came out of nowhere, and I just thought that was
That was
so
so funny.
unearned.
I thought it
Like
was gonna.
I perked
I
up.
thought the twist
I,
was gonna be there that he wasn't actually a bad guy, and this was just their way that he was gonna like he was
I was
just
like a
playing the
triple.
bit to free them. I was like, oh, is he gonna he's gonna do
He's like
something?
he's a
Gonna
triple
yeah, he's a
agent. Yeah,
triple
he's a
agent.
triple agent.
And then they just kind of
Yeah.
kill him, and I was like, oh, what happened?
Well, that's that then, I guess. Yeah, like, and yeah, like the bad guys, they're just Nazis. That's literally what they
That
are.
was
They're
so
space
funny.
Nazis. That's it. Like, not in a like a cute way, like stormtroopers. They're just literally space Nazis. That's what
I
they
love
are,
that they have
and
the
they just
exact
have the
same like
most.
Nazi uniforms. I was like, wow, that's very subtle. Not many people are gonna get that.
Yeah, very subtle.
I feel
You
like
need
a
at least
smart boy.
an IQ of at least 200. Yeah, I am a very smart person now because I picked up that those were Nazis. I'm a smarter person for that. It's the same way how remember the subtlety in Batman v Superman where Batman goes, "Do you bleed? You will." Very subtle. I didn't pick up on that at all the
There's
first
a
time I
surprising
watched.
lack of
You can
Jesus
tell how
imagery in this one. I found.
surprisingly,
Yeah.
I surprisingly like very little Jesus imagery because even Army of the Dead had like some Jesus imagery
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, of course it's fucking Zack Snyder. Yeah, like oh my god, it's and yeah, like at a certain point, like the movie just got so monotonous and so really boring that I was just like, I was just really hoping something funny would happen at the end,
Mm,
and I guess something did funny happen at the end where like, Carrie
Carrie
Elwes,
Ellis.
I don't remember how to
I almost
pronounce
said
his
Cary
name.
Grant.
Oh what, Carrie. Wait, was he even the character that appeared in Ed Skreин's dream sequence, or is that someone else that I'm thinking of? I remember Carrie Elwes was like in the movie as like the emperor or
No,
some
no,
shit,
don't worry about it. Don't worry
right?
about it.
Or it doesn't matter. Okay, well, I'm just trying
I was
to.
just making a joke. Don't worry.
I'm trying. Okay, I just remember like there was some dream sequence because like Ed Skrein was like dead for like a good like 10 minutes, and then
So
like
funny. I
they
could not
hooked him up
believe
to some
they
wires and
brought him
bring
back.
him back. I was laughing so hard at that, but that was like one of the few moments that I was laughing because I was really hoping for like Zack Snyder's Jupiter Ascending, and it didn't deliver on that at all until like the last
Mm,
10 minutes. The last 10 minutes were really funny. So,
yeah. I was a
um,
bit confused. What the whole kind of bad guys deal was because like okay, so they land at
those bad
the little
guys.
village. They like kick the shit out of them for a little bit, and they're like, Give us the grain. You have 10 weeks." And then so they go out to find the people, but they go to this like spaceport thing. I'm like, so why did the bad guys just not like land here and like extort like all the town's like riches, and you're already in league with like the people kind of
I don't
in
know.
here. The what are they called again? The Black Hawks or some
Farmers?
dumb stupid shit.
Wait, wait, what are you talking about? I don't know what this. I completely forgot. What are you talking about?
Wasn't there
Who are the
those
Blackhawks?
the little bounty hunter faction that the bad guys were aligned with? The aliens,
Was
the
there?
blue ones,
I don't remember.
the dark blue ones.
Wait, are you talking about? Are you talking about the planet that the not space Nazis destroy that are filled with like
No.
the not Gungans
That was funny.
wait, I'm sorry.
that dude really
so
got the
confused,
fucked
yeah.
around and found out. Like I was like, what do you think was gonna happen, man? Why'd you stay there?
I don't know. I don't know. None of this, nothing about this movie makes any sense. Like it's just like
The more I think
it's
about
all
it,
just
the
like
more
fan
I'm like,
fiction writing. It's like
yeah. The more I think about it, the more I draw comparisons to like the first kind of like novels slash screenplays that I wrote, which were just like copies of like meshed up copies of like Indiana Jones, Tintin, Lord of the Rings, Dune, Song of Ice and Fire and stuff, just all kind of
yeah,
collided
exactly.
together.
Like this,
And I was like, oh,
it
this is
feels
just
like
like if one of those got a big budget, basically.
yeah, it feels like a fucking like 12-year-old wrote this
I
movie.
know.
Like it feels like a fan fiction.
Isn't there like
It
four
like I'm not
writers
even
on
saying
this
that as
film,
an
including
exaggeration.
him?
Like which I think is impossible. Like, I think there were three because Zach also wrote the
Yeah, I
film, but
know
I
that
think like
he
the
also
writers from like
wrote
Army of
it.
the Dead like wrote this as well. Yeah, I think like the writers of Army of the Dead wrote this as well, and I'm just like, well, it
Oh,
makes sense because the script in that movie was also utter dog shit. But this one, like, it genuinely felt like fan fiction. Like, it felt like a 12-year-old wrote fan fiction, and then it somehow got into like turned into the movie. Because this whole movie
okay, this
just
guy wrote
screams like
300.
edgy 12-year-old, like
Who wrote?
what they like. You know, it screams like what a 12-year-old would like. Well, this
Oh
happened,
wow.
and there was this big epic sword fight, and then this happened, and there was this big It's like it truly is just like I know I exaggerate a lot when I say like something is like of similar echelon to like a fan fiction, but this truly feels like fan fiction. Like there's no other way to describe it other than that. So sorry, I was interrupting you. What were you saying?
I was just looking at the person who wrote, who were one of the co-writers. One of them was wrote the most recent two John Wick films, which I think is very interesting. I guess that's the kind of that's the case of competent direction.
Yeah, I think it is. And I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I
I
think
do love I
I
do
think
love
the actual
that he
like
makes himself cinematographer in all his recent movies.
I was gonna mention that because like I don't know about you, but like I think Zack Snyder's worst looking movies are the ones where he's doing like the cinematography because like the
Yeah.
visuals in this film look awful. Like it is such an ugly like for a movie that's supposed to be some big poppy sci-fi epic. This was disgusting to look at. This was such an ugly movie. Like holy Christ! Like a lot of like the same problems that I had visually with Army of the Dead, and even to an extent, the Snyder cut like are in this movie but like exemplified even more like because he really likes doing this weird ass like shots where like the background is super blurry as fuck but like the character is like hyper focused or whatever, and I absolutely
Yeah, I
hate
don't know
that
why
shit
he
because it
just
doesn't make sense
he
for a
seems to have
movie
found like one lens he
because it's
really
cool.
likes that should be used for like only
Yeah,
like a certain type of shot, and he uses it for
super
every shot.
specific. Yeah,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense because it's like maybe for like one or two like dialogue scenes like that could work kind of maybe, but like
I don't think it should even
it's
be
like
used for
the
dialogue
complete
scenes because it's more
opposite.
like it's like a foreground kind of lens.
I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, like,
It's not
to me, this
inherently
is like
meant
the
for like
complete
shot reverse
opposite of.
shot kind of scenes.
Yeah, this is like the complete opposite of like what how Yorgos Lanthimos shot Poor Things, where like he was like playing around with different lenses and different like cameras. This is like the complete
Yeah,
opposite, where he just
get
like
a
found this one lens and it was like,
yeah.
fuck it, we're just gonna shoot it
I
this
don't have the
way.
money for another
So,
lens. We're just gonna use this for every shot of the film.
oops, sorry, I spent all my money on the weird sex aliens. Guess I gotta use this one lens. Sorry, you know, like what the fuck.
The
Just
visuals in that
just
fight
shoot it normally,
in
Zach.
that flying scene looked horrendous.
It was awful. It
It's
was like
funny.
all the any scene involving flight in general was just horrible to look at. This whole film is so ugly to look at. Like, I was like, I was like, Zach, please go back to having real cinematographers. Because like, say what you will about Snyder's like previous films, like Man of Steel is a good looking film.
It's an
Watchmen is
ugly
a good
looking
looking
film.
film. 300 is a good looking film. Sorry, what's an ugly looking film?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Really? I thought like yeah, I mean it's not like the
I'd
most
argue the
visually
Snyder
interesting
Cut's
film, but like
it's a
there are
pretty
some
well shot
shots.
film, honestly.
Did he do the cinematography on that one
Nope.
too, or did someone
Actually, he
else
might
shoot
have done
that?
on
Okay, yeah,
the
well that makes
reshoots he
sense.
did on it, but the rest of the film, like, looks pretty good.
Yeah, because like they got an actual competent cinematographer.
Yeah.
So yeah, just this whole film is. I don't even know what to say anymore other than just to keep repeating my thoughts because it's like there's nothing. It's like so bare bones. There's
Yeah.
like it's so empty. There's nothing to talk about. Like because I've already forgotten like half the movie already, you know? Like so sorry. Yeah, if you have any other thoughts, please. I've been interrupting you a lot with my
Um.
angry hatred. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there was something I was gonna say, but
No, I
it's
think
kind
you
of
guys
it's
are
left
done
me now.
I think y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You like the music?
Yeah. The Junkie XL score. I don't really remember much of it.
I was watching it with Matthias, and he was mentioning how like the score felt like super derivative of the Snyder Cut score or something like that, which makes sense.
Probably
But
because it was the
I don't
same
know.
guy.
I don't remember much of this. Yeah, well, I didn't remember much of the Snyder Cut score anyway, so like just something he pointed out.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So I mean, I don't even know why they didn't just release an R-rated cut anyway. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
very
really get
silly.
the
I
point
don't know
of
what he was thinking with
make
that.
making this baby version. I mean, that was probably Netflix because like Netflix wanted their own Star Wars or something. I don't know, I guess, but
Yeah.
like, dude, it's also Netflix. Like, just release the original R-rated version if that was the version you wanted. Like, why are you doing this? Like, who cares if like babies
Also,
like might watch the movie? Like, they can watch anything on Netflix.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
just tone down the settings. Like, goddamn. Also, I just remembered what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I also found it kind of funny that you remember in Game of Thrones, Timmy, the Dario Naharis, the Daenerys' love interest in like the kind of later seasons that they leave behind.
Oh, the both actors who played that one
Yeah, they were
character
both
in
in
the
the
movie.
film.
Someone told me about that, and I was like, "Huh, that's funny. I didn't realize that."
Yeah, not many people remember
um,
when he played that character for like 3 episodes, and then in the next season, he'd like his whole face had changed.
yeah, whatever happened? Like, did they ever explain why they had to
He said
swap him out with a
it
different
was
actor,
politics,
or
but he never elaborated. So yeah, it'll probably
what the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh man. Um, yeah, I mean, I could ramble and rant about how much I hate the movie even
Yeah,
more,
I
but
think
like
we've covered most of it.
who really wants to hear me do that? Yeah, we've already covered that. So yeah, I'm ready to move on, Jules, if you are, because I don't
Yeah,
I
I
have
mean,
nothing else to say about the film.
we've covered most of it.
Yeah. Are you gonna see are you gonna see the R-rated cut first, and then are you gonna see the part
I
two?
don't
I
know
guess
about the
I'm
R-rated
obligated to
cut,
see
probably
part
not.
two.
But
So
I'll see the part two, hopefully. I mean,
is
I
the R-rated
watch all
cut
of his
longer?
films, so I'm somewhat of a Snyder loyalist, if you will.
A Snyder loyalist. Yeah, do you know if the R-rated cut is longer?
I believe so, yeah.
Because I can't imagine making a.
Well, I
How
mean,
do you
it
make
would
a
have to be
longer
longer
version
because,
of
like,
something that barely has?
if you look at the current cut on Netflix, it's like obvious, like that's not meant to be how it was cut. Like, there's obviously meant to be like a shot of some blood there, so obviously it'll be longer.
Yeah, yeah. You could tell there was a lot of weird, freaky alien sex that was cut out for the baby version, and you know what? I'm all for it. I would totally watch all that. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
or I could just play Mass
yeah,
Effect.
1 out of 10. Oh yeah, you could just do that too. You could just play any just,
These
or you
are
could just
pretty
watch Dune
similar
again,
anyway.
or Star Wars again, or Seven Samurai again. You could just do that.
Oh,
I don't know.
fuck.
So
Oh no, please.
yeah, 1 out of 10. I mean I've already gave my rating for this film the last time I talked about it, but yeah, 1 out of 10. So
Nice.
Jules, are you gonna give your rating or?
Oh, sorry. The thing just cut out there
Yeah.
momentarily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Film is a 2 out of 10. Definitely
Yeah.
one of his lesser films. Don't show me this again.
So what would
Zach.
you say?
Very undercooked.
What would you say? Oh, sorry. Yeah. So quick question. What would you say are like some of your favorite Snyder films? Like what when I think of like Zack Snyder,
Um,
when I say Zack Snyder, what are his like good movies that you associate with him? Just curious.
I mean, he doesn't really have like a good movie, but 300's pretty good. And I like Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead's pretty good, pretty fun.
You cut up there again. I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, I think we've lost him.
Oh, yeah. I think we lost Jules. So we'll never know.
We will never know.
We'll never
What?
know what Jules' fate. Oh, there
Oh,
we go.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, to answer your question, probably
Yeah.
300. 300 is pretty fun, and Dawn of the Dead's pretty fun, very kind of bloody, kind of suited to his style, probably out of all of his films. Um,
Well, Dawn of the Dead was written by like an actual competent writer, so
What
like
about
that
the owl
also helps him
movie?
as well. So
I don't think I remember a
I
single
didn't
bit
like it
about
at
that
all.
Owl movie.
But yeah, but I also don't remember a single
My
thing
brother's a
about this
big fan
about
of
that
those
movie
of the
either.
books those are based on, and I think he vowed never to watch it.
Lol.
Mm.
It might be one of my favorite titles of all
Should have
time,
just.
though. The Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Like,
I am of the
goddamn.
opinion that I think that would have made a better Miyazaki film. Like I think if Miyazaki got his hands on those books, he would have made something much better and more competent. But that's just my biases. So, did you care for Did you like his Watchmen film?
Um, yeah, mixed. I don't know. I need to
Yeah,
rewatch it.
I agree.
Genuinely not quite
Yeah,
sure on it.
but you weren't a fan of his DC movies, right? You didn't care for
No.
Man of Steel or
There were parts of
BVS or
the
anything like
Snyder
that.
Cut that I
No,
liked.
okay.
Nah.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't care for the Snyder Cut whatsoever, but I always like some of the music in a lot of Snyder's films. Like I didn't like Man of Steel, but I remember really liking the score for Man of Steel. So
I'm just thinking of the Wonder Woman theme.
Oh gosh.
oh well, like he didn't have anything to
Remember
do
the
with
Snyder
that.
Cut when
So
he played
you know.
that one tune like every 2 seconds?
Yeah, I know.
See, that's like peak
I
Snyder
know.
right there.
Yeah,
That's the things I love about him.
yeah. I
Oh
would say
fuck, that's the
things
thing I
like
was gonna
that are
mention
his
about Rebel Moon.
defining
I love
qualities.
when he like slow mode like random shit, like even though there was like barely any action scenes in the film.
Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
love when
I
he
honestly
slow
think the
mode like
slow mo
someone
is like half
dropping
the reason.
corn.
I think the slow mo is like half the reason
It's
this
so
movie is as long
long.
as
Oh
it
my
is. Like if you
god,
took
yeah.
out all the slow mo, it would cut
There's
the
not as much
runtime by at
slow mo
least
as
like
there
half
is
an
in
hour.
300
Like
though.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair, but like it makes sense in something like 300, like because it's just a movie about a bunch of gym bros like fighting off against a giant army of racist caricatures. It's like you don't need anything
Gay racist
complex.
caricatures.
Yeah, gay racist caricatures.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
like
so funny.
it is what it is. Yeah. So, but speaking of things that are funny, I guess Jules's recommendation. We can talk about it
Oh
now,
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah,
unless
yeah.
you had something else you wanted to
So
mention.
yeah,
Yeah, because we occasionally do that on this show.
the theme
So,
currently is movies that came out on our birthday, and of course, according to famousbirthdays.com, the 2012 film Holy Motors, directed by Leo Carax, came out on my birthday somewhere, which is November 9th.
mhm.
So yeah, that's what I recommended, and
Was that how you pronounce his name?
I've
Leo?
been meaning to see
Le-
this for a little while now, because Leo Carax is kind of in this kind of adjacent circle to Harmony Korine, one of my favorite filmmakers. I think he was in one of Harmony Korine's films. So yeah, this kind of seemed
Oh, really?
like up my alley. And yeah, kind of went into it, and honestly, I adored it. I thought it was just so amazing. So I was completely enamored by it. I thought, I, I'll get into detail in a second, but yeah, I really loved it. What did you guys think?
I think Luca should go first.
I think that I am mixed. I think that there are parts of it that I loved. That were some of the sickest things I've ever seen. But for the most part, I was just kind of lost and not really too invested. The first half of the movie, I really enjoyed. and once you get past like that really fun like kind of orchestra sequence, from that point on,
amazing.
I don't think the film kept that same momentum, and I was kind of not really invested or interested. It was losing me a bit, but like I said, there are still many aspects about the film to appreciate, many very important aspects about like filmmaking and the film landscape, I guess. There is a lot of very small, obscure references to all sorts of movies and things in media that I liked, and yeah, it's just very weird and wacky. Lots of the weird and wacky I liked. Lots of it also left me quite perplexed and not really grasping onto anything. So that's how I feel. um, yeah. How about you, Timmy?
I did not care for this film whatsoever. I was very unimpressed and very unengaged with a lot of what I was watching. The first like maybe 20 minutes I was like kind of curious to see where this was going. But then like yeah, like after that orchestra bit I just stopped caring about anything that was happening. I just wanted the movie to be over at a certain point. I get what you're saying about how the film is about like the major landscape. I mean, at a certain point I picked that up because, you know, there were a lot of like indications to that. Like you can interpret like the second thing he does as like a representation of like visual effects or something like that, and then, you know, the more later moments when he does a bunch of dramatic shit, like you can just see that as like playing into the genre or something like that. I don't even know what the film is going for. I legit couldn't tell if the movie was being for real or if it was being a parody, like. And I wish it just committed to either, because I don't think it achieved either of what it was going for. If it was going for it, I don't even know, honestly, because like I think my biggest frustration with this film is that like it like I've used this meme before in conversations, but I think it's perfect for the. It's like the it insists upon itself Lois meme from Family Guy. It is literally like this movie is an embodiment of that meme. It insists upon like it is begging to be interpreted, and it is begging to be to it is stating that it is meaningful and it has something meaningful to say. But I think it is just so surface level and so just like honestly kind of try hard that I was getting annoyed, and I was getting like I was like not connecting with it. It truly felt like we have adaptation at home, or we have Synecdoche, New York at home. It truly felt like that. Like, because I was just like, it is so insistent on being deep. It is so insistent on like you interpreting all the things, because it's like, oh, what does this mean? Are we going to interpret this? But like, I was like, who cares at a certain point? Like, that's all that I was thinking to myself. I was like, this doesn't matter. Like, who cares at the end? You know, and you can say that as like that's not a valid criticism, fine, but you know, like if I'm not connecting with anything that's going on, then like I don't know, like how am I supposed to love the film? And there are things about it that I did love, you know, like I liked the main actor, you know, and I liked a lot of the visuals, but I don't know, isn't that also just like bare bones minimum too to make a movie? You know, like it's just, you know, I I truly just couldn't tell like what it was going for. Like I didn't know if it was like it was just being wacky but also trying to say something sincere, or if this was some sort of like weird parody of art films. Like I didn't really understand what it was going for, and at a certain point I didn't really care to. And also, like, I don't know about you guys, but I know I watched Tokyo before this, so I was familiar with the weird green suit ghoul guy, the racist, you know, from Tokyo. And I was just and I was just waiting to see how that was incorporated in the film,
Yeah,
but it didn't really matter. It didn't mean anything in the long run. It was just like I guess the only reason it was even in the
that's
movie
why I
was
didn't
to
bother
have
to
an
watch
excuse to have
Tokyo
Eva
because I
Mendes in the
anticipated
film.
that's what it was gonna be. I was like, yeah,
And
this guy is not the
also,
type of
I'm
filmmaker to like connect it like an actual prequel, like or anything.
it didn't matter. Yeah,
It's
it
just like
literally
he just took that
it wasn't
character
even
from one
that.
of
It
his
wasn't a
previous short
prequel.
films and was like, I'm gonna
I
do
did
this again.
like
Just do some more with
Yeah,
him.
and just and just fuck it. Yeah, and they just said fuck it. Yeah, and it was like and like what I was really upset by, and I'm glad Matthias pointed this out to me, was that they're in Tokyo. They play the Godzilla theme in that moment, like during the scene where like the ghoul green suit leprechaun man or whatever like shows up and like starts like being a nuisance to everyone, like, and they play the Godzilla theme, but it makes sense within that context because he's in Tokyo, they're in Japan, like it makes sense to play that theme. But when they play it in this moment in Paris in Holy Motors, it makes zero sense. It's just like, oh, did you just play this because it sounded cool? Like that doesn't make any sense.
I think that
like
is
there was
literally
actual
why.
context and
It
reason.
just kind of works for the scene.
Like, but you see what? But you know what you see what
I
I'm
think
saying
it
though.
ties
Like
into,
this
like,
whole
that
film is like
idea
just
of,
insisted.
like, just very wacky references to certain parts of media.
To cinema.
And also, I also just kind of saw it as him remaking that segment from Tokyo, but it was kind of presented better in Holy Motors, and there was more fun stuff going on in the segment. And
You could probably argue that the Tokyo segment was probably like was maybe sort of test for Holy Motors to see like what he could do, like how he could maybe pull it off.
It was kind of just like a little short film, like
Yeah.
before the final
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I really like that scene, honestly, the Godzilla scene.
Yeah.
In both.
It's kind of
Both,
it just does that music just goes really
both
hard in
films.
every
that
circumstance.
music is just so sick. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I also,
I understand. Yeah, I understand what you guys are saying.
yeah, I'm also, I do agree that I'm kind of with you where, like, I literally don't know what the fuck, like, I think it definitely is trying to be a critique of, like, the modern landscape of filmmaking in many ways. Like, there's that that scene at the end, which Jules kind of, like, had a little explanation to me, which I very much appreciated. But also just in the beginning with like that visual.
Which one?
The car scene, and talking about like, how cars are expressed in films. But
Wait, which scene? Sorry, I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
final scene where the cars start
when
talking.
the cars are talking to each other. Okay.
Yeah, Jules had a really.
I was so done with the movie at that point.
Jules had a really interesting view on that, which I'm sure he'll mention soon. But
sure, yeah.
What I found interesting was kind of like that visual effects scene, like you said, like, and just the guy, just like the main character, like, because this main character, like, is just playing an actor. That's why he has all these different like appointments and characters. Like, he is just doing what he likes. Like when he goes into like I guess his real job, which is like that visual effects thing, it's like you can tell that like how automated everything is and how maybe like he doesn't really like it, like he doesn't find it fun. But when he's like doing all these like playing all these wacky characters, you know, like he's so into it, like he is committing to being an actor so hard that he is doing it in like these real life scenarios, you know, like and he is so committed to this idea
it's kind of real life, kind of not
playing someone that isn't himself, you know, and how the automation of it and like kind of ruins the experience of that, you know, like how you are put into this suit, this mocap suit, and you get to do nothing compared to going out and actually properly interacting with like people and props and locations and stuff. Like I found that part of the film very interesting. And yeah, like I said, I rarely found some of the weird, like just completely random fucking Easter eggs that this film has to offer. Like there was like a bit near the end where like this guy comes home and he like there's just like some chimpanzees like in a house,
so some monkeys,
yeah,
and his wife, and one of them's his child.
Yeah, and like I found that really interesting because like the guy in that scene looked a lot like Robin Williams
Yeah.
And like Robin Williams is kind of like a guy that has acted in like these kind of weird esque movies with like animals in them, like
Like Jumanji.
especially like Jumanji,
Uh,
and like
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
like Hook and stuff, like maybe has some weird stuff. I don't know, but like yeah, like it gave
Yeah.
me like a weird feeling, and like who knows if that is intentional or not. But like it's kind of what I got out of it in a weird way, and like there's so many little things like that in the movie, like using this Godzilla soundtrack. Like, why the fuck is it there? Who knows? Why the fuck is this guy in a house filled with chimpanzees? Who knows? And you know, there's these little increments that I found interesting, but I think like the overall story of like him going around to these different places, like, was just like kind of dragged for me, and I wasn't really invested. Like, yes, there were certain moments that really picked up my enjoyment, like that orchestra scene, like that kind of ending shot, which Jules, you can get into now because you explained it really well. Like, there is very small bits and bobs that I liked, but yeah, like I also struggle to connect to it and find what it means, but it's interesting enough that I did appreciate it for what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just.
Yeah, Jules, please. You can go ham wild on that ending. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna just talk about like the whole film, which was like, and I do agree with
Sure,
what
yeah.
some of you guys are saying. That, like, there's, and I think this is a movie where definitely art is put first over story. I doubt you guys will disagree with me on that. But I think, and I am. It's a movie where I do get lost. Like I get very lost and like, I'm like, okay, what's going on? But I like to be lost in a film like this because I feel like fundamentally there was a certain point where I kind of realized like this is not a film that like should be processed on like a purely like narrative level. It's like more like you just feel the film as it progresses. Like it's just you are seeing images on a screen, and that's it. Like there's so little of a narrative that like it may as well be non-existent. And I think yes, it is mostly about a critique of the modern kind of filmmaking landscape. Like you kind of get the impression, I think, that Leos Carax is like clearly just kind of very disillusioned with film in that time period, and he just kind of wants to make not only critique the industry but also try and really push like what cinema is capable of, like to its absolute boundaries, which is how you get like these kind of art piece films and like films like Harmony Korine's Gummo and Julian Donkey Boy and stuff. And yeah, the way what Luca was talking about, how I explained the ending scene, was that the cars that are used to drive people around have like basically like really big engines. And they are basically handcrafted by hand. They're they're kind of older machines, and it's more of a factory assembly line now. It's not a carefully constructed engine, which is filmmaking. We're a factory assembly line industry, and you know the engines are no longer visible, and as the Dennis Levant character says, I can no longer see the cameras. And yeah, and it's very kind of tiring in a way to live in this kind of modern landscape where everything is like pushed out to us on a silver platter, and it can be fitted into any of these kind of different vignettes where it's like like a kind of Elephant Man story, like the Godzilla soundtrack one, or the motion capture kind of CGI, even porn hentai thing you could even refer to it as.
Yeah, Timmy, how did you not love that?
Yeah.
Love what? Sorry. Sorry, love what?
The hentai.
Did you not think of the
weird
motion
animated
capture?
scene.
Yeah.
Oh, that. I was like, there was hentai in this? I don't even remember. Like, what are you guys talking about? That? I don't know. I just... I guess it looked cool, you know. Like I said, like I don't think like the visuals were never a problem with the film because I get what you're saying, Jules, about how like this is a movie that like that I should be feeling, quote unquote, instead of thinking. And like I have nothing against movies like that, but at the same time, like the whole reason, like a part of feeling when it comes to a movie, if you ask me, and I like you can act, like everyone will have their own opinions about this, but for me, when I'm feeling a film, I'm not just feeling like the visuals or like the vibes, I guess if you want to call it. Like what I connect with most is like is a proper narrative and like characters that I can connect with and like really like see my I'm maybe not see myself but at least like I like enough that I want to follow through from beginning to end. And I totally understand that this film is trying to be unconventional. I totally understand that the film is trying to break conventions and is just trying to be a look at it, it's the equivalent of like slapping like pictures together and just like making them move to create just a visual experience more than
Mm.
just like anything that
Which is the
requires like
magic of
strong writing or
cinema
narrative.
at the start. Like, just
I
the
get
idea of a
that.
moving picture.
I get that. I get that. But at the same time though, it is so frustrating because like again it just leaves me very cold. I feel nothing for the film. I'm just like, so what, like I when I'm thinking about movies that are like this, that are like purely going for like visuals and don't really care about like being grounded in narrative and stuff like that, like I remember to something like say Belladonna of Sadness, like when we talked about that film, like to me like that is more what you are describing with this film, because like Belladonna of Sadness, like yeah, there's like a bit of a narrative. There is narrative and there is like story that you can follow and chew on, but that's not the main priority. The main priority is like feeding you with this like adrenaline rush of like weird ass visuals or weird ass kooky like looks and stuff like that. And another example would be like say like Mind Game from Masaki Yuasa. That's another film where it's like, yes, there is a narrative that you can weave if you want to look for it. Yes, there's a story that you can connect to, but like what is prioritized are the visuals, like what you're feeling, what you're seeing, that having this like acid trip type experience. But like that acid trip experience is visually rewarding. It is very rewarding to watch something like that just unfold and like let yourself loose into that film. But there's like nothing like that in this movie. It's just like, well, we're moving on to the next one, we're moving on to the next one, and then we're moving on to the next one. Are you feeling something? Are you moving on to the it's like it's I don't want to keep saying it, but it's insisted emotion. It is insisting emotion upon you. And the moment where I was most insulted by the film was like the scene where like him and that other actress like reconnect or whatever. They have like 30 minutes to like reconnect and like talk about their past or whatever. And then at some point she goes into this horrible musical number, and I was just like so mad at that point. I was like, this is so emotionally manipulative. Like you are insisting upon certain like themes or like certain like ideas on how I should be thinking, and I hate that. Like I hate when movies like tell me like how I should feel or how I should like think about something, and like like I'm trying to articulate in a way that makes sense. I hopefully what I'm saying makes sense,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I get it.
the film it's just so like, and I feel like you can still make the same kind of movie but also have a point, like also have something that gets me to like relate to what's going on. Like another example would be like Birdman. Like Birdman is also another movie that's like criticizing the movie industry, criticizing modern trends and tropes within like current films and stuff like that. But there's still that like interweaving narrative that's there to hook you in from beginning to end while having all of these like cool visuals and crazy shots and stuff. Like, and there's just like none of that in this movie. I seriously just couldn't care less about what was going on. And it didn't even seem like the movie wanted me to care. So it's like, well, if I don't care, then how, like, if you don't even care, then how am I supposed to care? Like, I don't know. Well, hopefully what I'm saying makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Um,
no, I get what you're saying, and yeah, I do sort of semi agree, but I think that also this film kind of operates on like you're talking about the when she just breaks into a musical number out of nowhere. That this
Sorry
film is
about
just
that.
like,
yeah.
oh, I didn't even notice you'd gone.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that this film
Yeah.
kind of operates on like a dream like logic level. Like there are no kind of rules. There's just these rules can be bended at like any time, like how he just gets like was it stabbed or shot to death in one scene and just is fine in the next, and then the cars start talking to each other out of nowhere when they have never done that before, and she just breaks into musical number. Like, it is purely trying to capture like the essence of like what a dream is, and there are no rules or any sort of logic of reality to dreams in any sense. Like, sometimes the weirdest shit happens. Like, I could make a whole movie out of my dreams, and just kind of how weird they are.
Dream scenario.
And also, I think that they, I think, oh god, that's a nightmare.
Dream scenario.
Um, and I think there is a lot of meaning to be found in it, and what that kind of meaning is, I don't know if I fully know, because I think this is like an impenetrable film. It's almost like a when you stare long enough into the abyss stares back kind of joint, where it's like,
Sure.
I think
yeah.
it fundamentally, what kind of we are as humans is just kind of playing roles like over and over and over again, like what we're expected to do, like how you talk to like certain members of your family or certain people that you know, and like you're playing a role, you are acting, and you might have different acting for different people, like, and we live and we die, and it's really tiring, like, and we fall asleep at the end, and it may not matter what we've done in our life, like the work that we've done, has, if anyone has even noticed or even cared, to be honest. Then if there's people kind of with us at our death side, as the that one scene where he plays that old grandfather who dies with only his niece by his side in the hotel room, which also, by the way, is the same room from the beginning of the film, where that the guy who's actually played by the director, Leo Carax,
The director. Yeah.
just kind of, which I think also you can kind of, that scene may kind of seem unrelated to the rest of the film. I think it's the most like directly like in your face kind of message scene in the whole film, where it's like, yeah, the audience is sleeping, like people are growing dissatisfied with filmmaking, and we don't really want to leave the comfort of our homes anymore. We don't want to go too far, like out of our house, which I think in an ironic way kind of, you could say kind of predicted the rise of streaming services, if you will.
Yeah, he was kind of right on that. I'll give it credit. Like, he was kind of right on the money with that. Now that we have
He was kind of
Netflix and
right
all
on
this other
the
shit.
motion
Yeah.
capture stuff as well. Like, if you look at the way, like, I don't know, like Ant-Man, The Wasp, Quantumania, like all movies shot in like just green screen studios as well. And this is in 2012, so he kind of called that as well. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I guess what he's really saying is just like, movies are a factory lined product anymore. You don't recognize the work. It's so tiring. You're just going day to day like you are a part of a machine, an engine, but not the same engine as before. Like, just a new
Mortal
production
engines.
line, factory engine, and you're just a cog in it. And yeah, you may not be happy about it, but it's like it's all you've got, because what else can you do, basically? Like, because we don't know anything about the Oscar character and really what he's doing. Like, for all we know, that scene where he like leaves the house and gets in the limo for the first time, that could just be him like ending one of his previous acting things, one of his previous roles. So
I interpreted it as that. Like, it seems like him just like leaving another acting job to go
Yeah.
to move on to the next one. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah.
and he kind of has really like doesn't have any really human connection in his life. Like, he except for the driver, Celine, who is she has a very great performance as well, despite the fact that she's in it for like not much and she doesn't really do much. I do like the bit where she That's another direct reference because she's in Eyes Without a Face. If you didn't know, and that's why she puts
Yeah,
on
Matthias
the
pointed
teal
this out to
mask at
me
the
as
end.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I do wanna compliment Denis Lavant's performance because it's so incredible like what he does in this film.
He's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he has to imbue each character with its own personality, like the father character who drives the daughter home, and then, but it also has to be him as well. There has to be an overarching sort of personality in all of them, and to develop that into like 9 different characters is insane. And each performance is like such a good performance for like each of the characters, like the way he physically moves in the kind of crazy sewer man performance, and just the way like he speaks and like acts around his daughter in the car ride home one, and even the way he talks to the chimpanzee in that final one, like the way he's like, oh, my wife. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's an incredible performance.
Yeah, he has to play an actor. He has to play an actor playing 9 different characters,
Yeah,
all with their unique quirks and characteristics. And yeah, I think he's
and
the best
also
part of
being
the
like a
movie. Like
character who's sort of losing his grip at the same time, where he goes like, stop the car, and
yeah,
like goes out and like stabs that random person, and then like she comes out and says, oh, there's a
shoots
mix
that
up.
guy. So, I honestly thought the scene with him and the other actress, I thought that was another acting job appointment or whatever. Um, but I guess it was not, and so it was probably his only moment of like being real in the moment.
Yeah.
Like I said, I see where you're coming from. I don't think this is like a worthless movie or anything like that. Like I see the crumbs of what you're talking about, but again, I don't want to keep repeating what I'm saying, but yeah, it's just like the emotional connection, like that's the biggest hurdle that I just can't get over with this film, like I just there's just nothing I can do with that, so
Yeah, I perfectly understand like
mhm.
not connecting with a movie like this. I think it's just kind of up to personal taste, and I think I have sort of a penchant for these kind of movies. So yeah, I totally understand. I
Yeah,
every sort of
yeah,
criticism you have, I completely get.
yeah, but at the same time, yeah,
In a
I
very
also
alternate
understand
universe,
where you're coming
I would be
from. Yeah,
nodding along with you, and we'd all hate this.
yeah. In another life, we would be
In
nodding
another life,
along
I would
to
have
our
loved to hate it
in
on all the
another life,
murders.
yeah. Yeah, while cleaning our laundry, yeah. So, um,
We don't have
yeah.
the.
Luca, did you have
We
anything?
don't have the. What's it? Is it Inya? That thing from past lives? That connection?
Ugh, Inya.
Inyan, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't have
Yeah, I
anything
didn't think
more
to connect that. Thank you for
add.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, what I said is what I said. I like the movie and I very
Mm.
much appreciate what it's going for, but yeah, not entirely my kind of speed. But I did like it more than I didn't like it. I still overall the experience that it provided I liked, but not like, loved or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think adaptation is like the better version of this. Like adaptation is, in my opinion, doing everything that this film.
I
I mean,
think
I
they're
also am
very
biased when I
different,
say
though.
that
I
because
don't
it's
think they're
Yeah, I
so-
honestly like. I think they're very kind of different films in what they're going for.
well, like adaptation is also like a critique on like the well, I guess it's not as of a critique on the
Yeah.
film. Maybe that's not the right word. My right movie I should be describing. I think like what I was comparing it to Birdman. I think that's the better comparison because. Yeah, because Birdman is also like
honestly, I
similarly
can't
a
even
critique on
compare
the
this
film
movie
industry
to
and
anything.
yeah.
That's just how batshit crazy its own
Yeah,
thing
I think
is.
it's
like
it is just so much of its own thing that like there's no comparison that can be really made for it. It just is its own thing. It just kind of exists in a
Yeah, even
like
I can
a
admit
what is
even
this?
I can admit that like it's even I can admit it is very unique. It is its own
Oh
thing.
my
It's
God,
not a
yeah.
uniqueness that I like or connect with, but it's at least unique. Yeah. So that's the best thing I can say about the film. So, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
but I'm glad you love it, Jules. I'm very happy for you.
Yes,
So,
yes.
um, yeah, you were right when you told me when you speculated that I might hate this film because
You're
I
just as
well
readable as a book. I can just tell what you're gonna
yeah
like and not
I'm
like.
so I'm so predictable. Like you can read me like like a book at this point. So
Same with
like
you,
why
Luca.
bother giving
It's like
ratings
that
to movie?
image that I found of
Yeah,
that
why?
I got of Timmy yesterday. I laughed so hard. Wait, Jules, you haven't seen this.
No, I
Wait,
haven't.
what image
I'll,
is
I'll
this?
send it in the chat. I'll send it in the chat. This is like just the
Okay.
perfect amalgamation of who Timmy is. Like, uh, just so funny.
Is this the one where? Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So
Just the
yeah,
funniest thing in
at
the
one moment I'm
world.
talking
So
about.
with this Tuesday
At
or
one
Thursday,
moment,
I can bear with
Like that whole image is just Timmy. Like it is just the perfect amalgamation of like what makes Timmy Timmy, and I love it. I love it so much. Like you've got the Charlie
I
Kaufman
am the true
reference.
embodiment of
You got the
Stanley
yeah,
Kubrick.
you got that. You got the preference to watch a good movie more sooner than a bad movie more sooner than a good movie. Like it's all there. It's all there. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I am truly the embodiment of the duality of man. One moment I talk about my love for Kaufman and
And then you're like, yeah, I
Kubrick,
can't wait
and then
to
the other
watch
moment I'll be like,
Paul Blart.
Paul Blart?
Yeah.
Hell
Paul
yeah.
Blart Mall Cop.
Paul
They're
Blart,
like that
Malta?
is
Oh yeah, so
yeah, perfection right there.
I can I say
Honestly,
I really
I
love
can't
I
fault
truly
Paul Blart Mall
do.
Cop's great.
Honestly, I cannot. I actually truly really do love all the memes and images you guys make of me. Like I still chuckle at the meme that Jules sent me to the group chat about like Timmy watches like the greatest thing of all time, knowing he's gonna give it a 7 out
Yeah.
of 10, and like the picture with the
That
guy
image from Top Gun
with this
of
fist or
the
whatever.
dude with like his hand
Yeah.
on his chin.
That was
Yeah.
a good one.
I
That
always
was a
laugh at
good
that. That
one.
was so funny. That was really, really funny.
I might pin that, actually.
So, yeah, please do. Yeah, to anyone out there listening, please make more memes of me. I really do
Yes,
appreciate that.
Please make more
So,
Timmy memes, everyone.
yeah. So, but anyway, I'm ready to get into ratings because I don't really have that much left to say. Unless there's something else you wanted to bring up about the movie, Jules.
I feel like I've been on such a spiel that I've covered everything there is to cover about this film. But honestly, you can, whatever
I think
kind of
truly-
interpretations I have, I think this film is so unique that you could just throw out everything that I said out the window and you can come to an entirely kind of different set of conclusions about what it all was. And I'm not even going to attempt to say, like, this is the correct objective version, because I think there is no correct objective version, because this film is just, like, its own entity, almost. It is such a unique, bizarre, wonderful experience. Yeah. I think this is amazing.
I totally.
I do love these kind of experimental-ish films, so yeah. This is a 9 out of 10 for me.
I totally see this. Like I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you made a video about this film at some point in your
I think I
future,
will.
Jules. It seems like right up
This
your
is
alley.
prime video
Yeah.
material.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Oh wait, no, sorry, Luca. You can go first.
Yeah, 6. 6. 6. What? I can't speak. I cannot speak.
6 out of 10.
6.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, 6
Yeah.
out of 10 is what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10. It was whatever. Originally I was like, maybe it's like a high 5, but not
High
anymore.
five.
After I've
Damn, high five.
high 5.
Damn, so it's closer to a
slap.
4 than
Yeah.
than a 6.
No, it's just a 5 because
Oh,
like for
it's
as
just a
much as
plain
I've
in the
been
middle
railing
5.
about how much Yeah, just playing in the middle. Not because if it's like average, more just because like I said before, like I can see what people like yourself do like about the film, and I can see like some semblance of like artistic integrity and genius and blah 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 whatever. And like even I can admit there were some genuinely great things about the film, you know, like the visuals, like the look of the film, and like the acting is really great as well. But you know, that alone is not enough for me to like a movie, because the emotional hurdle is what I like what I'm like that's like a huge thing that I have to consider, because like that's the difference between like an 8 and like a 10 out of 10, because like I consider something an 8 and a 10 like almost kind of the same thing in terms of, yeah, they're great movies, that's why I'm giving it this high of a score. It's just a matter of like, now the difference now is how much am I going to connect with the film, you know? Because like if I emotional connection, as much as we kind of, a lot of people will say otherwise, is like a real determining factor of like what kinds of movies you like and whether or not you actually love it. Because like if you're not going to connect with something, then like, you know, what reason would you have to watch it again? You know, like why would you bother with it? You know, it's like that's an important thing I consider, and I think is an important thing to consider. So, but yeah, 5 out of 10, best thing I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're in. You if you are gonna watch this film, anyone out there listening, it does depend on your, I guess, your patience with kind of very artistic things being put over any sort of substance or story. But I think if this does
Now,
connect
that
with
being
you, then this really like connects with you. Like, I think everyone who I've seen that likes it, like really like clicks with it.
Now, that being said, if it was an anime, 10 out of... No, I'm just kidding. So,
I was surprised you
Yeah.
didn't make Paprika comparisons, honestly, to me.
yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't get a
Millennium
lot of Paprika
actress.
vibes. Like, if you're just talking about, like... Yeah, I would say that is a more appropriate thing to compare it to. But even then, like, I was just so... I was so emotionally and not connecting with the film that, like, I didn't even think to make that comparison at all. But we'll you'll know what I mean when we talk about Millennium Actress at some point. So, but I didn't get a lot of Paprika vibes at all whatsoever. So, you know, but I'm glad you did. So that makes me happy.
All right. Yeah. So we all done. Do we want to move on to some questions?
Sure. Did you get any? I did.
I did.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm no longer an SDC,
Okay.
I have to source them from elsewhere. Let me just scroll up.
Sure.
So, oh, where are we?
Wait, you're no longer in the Discord chat? I'm confused.
I'm no longer in SDC server. I left. I just dipped.
Why not?
It's a dead
okay.
server.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so I have two questions.
Sure.
Should we go with the kind of longer discussion based one first, or do we
Yes.
want to just do the rapid? Oh, you want to do the other one first? Okay. So first question is from Rowan. Do you think there was truth in cinema, and if so, what would that mean?
God damn.
I don't even know what the question. I don't know what the question is referring.
What do you
what are
find
we
as
defining
truth in
as
cinema,
truth?
basically?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a think Facebook question. I've been kind of thinking up my answer while we've been talking all this time, and I think.
I guess. Sorry, you go.
Oh, no,
you
no,
go
you go.
first.
You go
I'll
first,
probably need
actually.
some more time to think about. Oh, okay. I guess that depends on how you interpret the question. So, if the question is, how do you define truth in cinema? That's the question, right?
Yes. And if so, what would that mean?
Okay. I mean, for me, I'm going about that as loosely as I can, which is truth doesn't necessarily mean everything that you're depicting is 100% accurate. If that were the case, then like only documentaries would count as cinema. So, and even then, that's such a stretch, because like a lot of documentaries like to take, you know, sides and opinions and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
whatever. But for me, how I'm gonna define that is, are you making something real and authentic? You know, like when I look at something like say like like when I'm watching like say like the Meg 2, the Meg 2 isn't authentic. It's not real. It's just like a hack job lazily slapped together and then just sold as a
It
lunchbox
is
given to other
real.
people. Like the Meg 2, fuck that shit. Yeah, it is real to some people, sure, maybe. Like what I consider to be truth in cinema is, are you making something that you want to make? Like, is this something that you feel like expresses some part of you that you can't express in any other form? Like, is what you're making authentic? Are you being truthful to both to yourself and the art form that you're creating? Just basically, are you being honest and, making something that comes from the heart, if that makes sense, and maybe from the mind. Truth is whatever, truth is whatever you want it to be. Just as long as you're true to yourself when you're making the film, that's what's important. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think in my case at least, I think all art is personal. Um, Everything reflects what an artist feels, maybe deep down, even if it's vaguely or vastly unrelated to the actual contents of the piece. But
Yeah.
every art piece is the search for our personal truth, because every art form, every film that I love makes me understand the human species more, like connects to
Yeah.
paths that I didn't know about, sometimes literally changing my whole life. Sometimes I just become aware of the struggle of like another gender, another race, another sexuality, and I understand people better because of it. But I think if you're looking for actual truth within art, um,
I don't think you're gonna
I'm
find
just
it,
gonna quote
honestly.
Francis Ford Coppola here. Um, Nothing is so
Okay.
terrible as a pretentious movie. A movie that aspires for something really terrific and doesn't pull it off is shit, it's scum, and everyone will walk on it as such. And that's what poor filmmakers, in a way, that's their greatest horror, is to be pretentious. So here you are on one hand trying to aspire to really do something, and on the other hand you're not allowed to be pretentious. And finally you say, fuck it, I don't care if I'm pretentious or I'm not pretentious, or if I've done it or I haven't done it. All I know is I am going to see this movie. I think that is the best way
I mean,
to look upon truth in cinema.
well, then we would have to define what pretentious, like, what is a pretentious film? That
One
there's
man's
so many ways you can
yeah,
like make something like that. Yeah, one man's pretentious is the other man's like genius art film that people really really like.
exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if some
It
people like I've
what
heard
matters is
people
the
call.
is what
Oh,
the
sorry.
artist believes it as.
It's kind of
Like
a
Exactly. Yeah,
loaded
like
term nowadays. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Pretentious to
like
me could
Holy
mean
Motors,
like
like for example.
yeah, like
I mean, poor things could
despite
be
what you
Yeah, like
may
Holy
think.
pretentious.
Motors can be interpreted as a
Yeah,
pretentious.
poor things could be pretentious to some people, but like
Exactly.
it
Yeah, poor
depends.
things could be pretentious. Yeah.
I think every artist worth their salt at least has a personal statement to make, or a personal thing that they want to say about something, and yeah, maybe it could be labeled in a pretentious way, like I don't know, like the Tree of Life, like that's you could call that a very pretentious movie. A lot of people do, but it's what's Terrence Malick saying about like the beginning and the end of the universe, and the struggles of being in a family, and the beautiful things don't ask for attention, basically. And
Yeah. Like I I think yeah, I think some pretentiousness is such a loaded and honestly like to me like the word
I
pretentious
don't
like
even
the
like the
word
word. I
pretentious is
think it's
just as worthless to me
yeah,
as like
it's a
yeah,
worthless word.
to me it's just as worthless as calling it's just as worthless as calling something woke. Like to me, it's the exact
Yeah,
same thing. Where it's like
honestly, yeah,
that word has no meaning. Like anything that you just don't like, you just slap it with the pretentious logo or the woke logo. It's like the same
yep.
thing. Like it
I
doesn't mean
never use the
anything.
word
Like
pretentious. I think it's
what
such a trash word to use. It's such a cop out
I
way of
would I only use
criticism.
the word pretentious. Yeah, exactly. Like I only use pretentious for very specific examples. Like if to me something is pretentious when either like I said, it insists upon itself, like the
Oh
Family
my
Guy
god,
meme, or
Family Guy insists upon
it's like
itself.
a to
Oh,
me,
it's like a Charlie Kaufman movie.
yeah, a family,
Yeah,
yeah, sure, like Yeah. Or I was just thinking more like Oscar bait movies, because you could interpret a lot of Oscar bait movies as super pretentious as well. Like they're
Like
insisting like
Oscar
they
bait's a
have like
worthless term as well.
meaning and shit like that. Yeah, I guess Oscar bait is a worthless term, but what has meaning these days? I don't know.
Exactly.
Like,
What does
yeah.
anything mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
did you give
Let's
an
not
answer,
get
Luca?
too deep. It's
I mean,
Yeah,
you guys
Luca.
kind of like. I think I agree with what you guys have to say, but I guess for me, I guess the truth comes from definitely like the director's intent, but like the whole point, like truth comes from like director's intent and what everyone in the crew is seeking out to make, obviously, and stuff like that. But the whole point of film is to interpret and gain and understand and gain your own experiences and interpretations and stuff. So to me, I think the main importance of the truth comes from you. Like, if something connects to you on such a profound level, then it feels truthful and real and genuine to you. That's that's the basis of everything. Like, some conservative fuck can watch Sound of Freedom and think it's the best movie ever made, and that is truthful to them because that's the type of person they are. I watch Poor Things and I think it is one of so utterly phenomenal, and I think that the ideas and things that film is exploring are deeply truthful and relatable to me. So I think at the end of the day, it comes down to you and how you perceive things and how you experience and interact with things. Like, each of us have different favorite films, and those films will feel more truthful and real to us. Because what is truthful? It's like the state of being true. And you can't put that label on anything because obviously we would say that's something like Sound of Freedom is completely untruthful, and our views and our perception of life and politics and people and art and expression. So at the end of the day, it comes down to the type of filmmakers that you love and the type of things that they're saying and what you gain from them and how you gain their intent and interpretations and themes and messages and expressing to be truthful to your own soul and your own mind and your own heart and your own heart. And bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that one, Ron. That was a very, very deep, kind of meaty question. Speaking of meat, onto
question.
Tonio's question. What is your
hate where
opinion
this is
on
going.
hanging meat in movies?
I
So
thought we were gonna get
basically,
another
what is
hot
your
dog question. God damn.
no?
Yeah, I
What's
thought
your
we were getting
favorite?
a
What's your favorite
meat-related
meat
question.
in cinemas?
Hanging meat.
What's the best? What's the, like dick?
What's a hanging meat?
Oh, dick.
Like for me,
I was thinking of
for me, I'm-
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, what is your favorite?
Yeah,
what is
I
your
was
favorite
thinking
scene
that
that
exact
has like a
same thing,
butcher
too.
shop in it or something?
no.
So what
We're
is
talking
your
about the
favorite
different
scene
butcher
that
shop.
has a pee-pee in it? Is the
I'm gonna
question.
say Boogie Nights.
I hated
Mark Ruffalo's dick.
I hated Saltburn, but
Mark Wahlberg. Dick and Boogie
Mark
Nights.
Wahlberg's penis, that wasn't his actual dick. That was like a prosthetic dick, so it was a cowardly dick. It
Okay,
shouldn't
so
count because
Willem
Mark
Dafoe's
Wahlberg
dick
was
in
too much of a
Antichrist,
pussy to.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a better
God.
one because
Oh,
they actually
no.
use his dick in that one. So, yeah. I was gonna say, Saltburn was a shitty movie, but I got to see Barry. But I got to see Barry's cock, so I was like, "Yep, that was worth
that was
Apparently
the
that
best
was
scene
his-
in the movie.
that was his
so-
real cock.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone told me that, which is why that is the only reason why I bumped it up from a 2 to a 3, because I was like, that's
Yeah,
Barry's
I
cock,
mean,
you know?
Just read
like,
my review.
there we go. So, yeah. So,
Oh gosh, I've
yeah.
got to think about this.
It's not on
Oh,
screen, but what about the Call Me by Your Name Peach scene, Luca?
Nah, that doesn't count. There's no dong there. That doesn't count.
Okay,
that
fair.
doesn't count. There's a pretty
Bad
impactful
Lieutenant
I mean,
with
I don't want to
Harvey
spoil it
Keitel?
all. Sorry, Timmy. I don't want to spoil it all.
Oh, go ahead.
But
Yeah.
there is a pretty impactful use of a penis in a recent, oh, not a recent film, but a film that I recently watched, which I thought was phenomenal. It's called The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. And
Oh.
that film has a pretty if you watch it you'll know exactly what I mean. But there is a use of a cock in that movie, and it is yeah. That's all I'll say.
Interesting.
The bit in Velvet Goldmine where you see Ewan McGregor's cock.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
the
Spoilers, dude. I haven't seen
the
it.
bit in The Climb
No, I'm
where
just
like
kidding,
the
I don't really
girlfriend
care.
like flops over like the guy's dick while he's asleep.
Oh yeah.
And in Poor Things,
That's
when she
very
does
funny.
the exact same thing, like just flops the dead guy's penis. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good.
Is there full frontal nudity in Shame?
Ooh,
There must be, right?
I think so. I don't actually remember.
Probably.
I don't think there is. Actually.
Bronson.
What
Bronson
about,
has some pretty good PP scenes when he's like naked fighting the beating the shit out of the prison guards.
Mm. I was gonna say Harvey Keitel showed off his shaft in Bad Lieutenant. That was epic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. I don't know if you got. And in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, there's a scene where Jason Segel just like drops his towel, and you see his actual penis in the film. That was
Yeah.
also epic, you know.
Wow.
So.
Oh, Mary and Max. they show
Itu
up
Mama
there.
Tem. Itu
Oh,
Mama
Itu
Tambien.
Mama Tambien, yeah.
Yeah, Itu Mama Tambien, that's a good one. Yeah, as well. Was there penis in Belladonna of Sadness? I guess I'd count that too, unless
Yeah, I mean there was a whole penis
animated
character.
penis doesn't count.
Oh, you know what's
Yeah,
a funny
there's
one?
that too.
Oh,
So-
no, wait, no, you know what? There is a movie with some dick.
What?
Dogtooth.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
a movie with probably the biggest dick you'll ever see. Bo is
Nice.
Afraid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Mhm.
Cool.
Oh, you see Ben Affleck's cock in Gone Girl.
That's true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Steps into the shower.
Yeah, but this is not just which movie has a penis in it. It's like the best use of a penis in the movie. Okay, we can't just list.
Yeah,
random
like I said,
penises.
Ben
Well,
Affleck.
no,
in Gone Girl.
I
Okay.
genuinely believe that like Jason Segel and Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I genuinely think that's one of the best like penises.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, like don't disagree with me.
No,
I'm
I
right.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I also
Yeah.
think the Bronson one is
Wow.
pretty good as well.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Alright. Yeah, there was one
Well,
more
we
question
answered
from
that
Rowan, but I'm
question.
not going to say what it was because it is so inappropriate.
Okay.
You can say that for
well,
us.
I expected as much. So.
I mean, I can just say it now, but
Okay, what is it? We don't have to
Fuck.
answer it.
No, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
good.
You're good.
Yeah, we're good.
You could type it to me.
Okay, I'll
then.
just
tell
you
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
you
gonna-
can
I'm
just
just
tell
gonna
us
put it in the chat.
afterwards. Yeah. So. Okay.
Yeah, so that's it.
Uh,
That's just all the questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's Luca's turn.
Okay, so
Go.
continuing
Do
the
it.
theme to my final. Okay, well, actually, first mention after the next. I mean, these episodes are so far spread out already. They might not even be.
Yeah, this isn't even gonna like affect.
Yeah, they might not even be any change in the long run. But
To
we
the
are
routine.
gonna have a little break after we record the next episode. But
Because we are tired.
yeah, but
We slave all the time for you
exhausted. I'm
stupid
honestly
listeners.
I'm honestly surprised we've gone this long without it. When was our last break? It was probably after
It
Avatar
was
2,
last
right?
year at the
Or-
beginning of the year, so it's only fitting that we have one this year at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yes, it is only fitting. Might as well.
You know, we never had a second live stream.
Oh yeah. Oh well.
Oh yeah.
Oh well. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway,
But yeah, so last little one of this theme of movies that came out on your birthday. And if I go to the famous birthdays for my birthday,
The most reliable site.
yep, the movie that I am going to be picking is, I thought we might as well finish off this director's filmography on this podcast. The thing
Oh,
that
no.
I will
Oh?
be picking is Nocturnal Animals.
oh, I guess I was like, I was
Directed
so,
by,
I was free.
I saw
I'm
that. I
glad-
could feel,
I'm glad you did
feel
this,
the
'cause-
hope in Timmy's voice that he was about to hear Millennium Action.
Yeah!
No, I was actually gonna be really mad because I was gonna recommend Millennium Actress at some point, and it had Luca recommended. I would have been so
Cole.
pissed off. I was
Oh,
like,
this is
"You
your moment,
stealer,
buddy.
like you movie
Cole,
thief."
oh my god.
Yeah, you movie thief. That was mine. I was gonna recommend that, you thief.
Let's
so
go.
I'm glad you said the other thing. Thank God.
Well, Millennium
So,
Actress did
I
not
was like,
come
my
out on
soul
my
left me.
birthday. Yeah, it was between.
I
It was
assumed not,
between
yeah.
Nocturnal Animals and
Someone informed Cole
20,000.
right away. Timmy, send
It
him a
was-
DM.
It was between
this is a big day
Nocturnal
for
I
him.
will after this.
Animals and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And I thought, 20,000 Leagues would be a more fitting pick for, like, my birthday. Like, ocean, maybe I'll find some enjoyment with that.
So you love
movie.
water.
And ship
Huh.
ship movie.
And ship movie. But,
Yeah.
you know what? I was like, fuck it. Todd Field has really impressed me with a single man. Not Todd Field. Fucking.
Todd
sorry.
Field?
Tom Ford.
Tom Ford. God.
Yeah, Tom Ford.
So
What
have
are
you
you
guys
talking about?
have you guys not seen this movie?
I have not seen this movie.
I saw it when it came out. I haven't seen it since. So this is due for a rewatch anyway. So.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. So I thought let's crank it out. Let's do it. Why not?
Glad we've
So-
covered this director's whole filmography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really took us a long time.
It sounds less it sounds less impressive than it is.
When
Like
you
we
consider he's
complete his
made
entire
2
filmography,
movies.
but there are only 2 movies, so there wasn't much to complete
I know.
anyway.
That's why
so
I said it.
you're
'cause
already
it's like a funny
50% done.
joke, Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do not want to be spoiled for Nocturnal Animals, then I don't know, don't listen to the next episode. Or actually watch the movie and then watch the episode. Wow, that's crazy.
That's great.
Nah.
Anyways,
Goddamn.
Why watch
Anyways.
bye
movies at all?
bitches.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. I have to get to my next role. Mike Penis.